Instead, Wayne Gretzky making his national TV debut. That'll be in 1 hour. Up next, it's U.S. men's pro ski.
For 13 seasons, Wayne Gretzky has been an ambassador unlike any other for the sport of hockey. In that span, he has set the standard for NHL players with 58 league records. His leadership and will to win are undeniably the reason he has captured the MVP award a record 9 times. The name Gretzky has been engraved on the Stanley Cup on 4 occasions, but the hope for a championship in Los Angeles put in jeopardy before the season started.
If I can't play at the level you can play at, you're not helping anyone. So we have to get rid of the pain, and I can't play with this pain.
Wednesday night marked the return of the Great One months ahead of schedule, and he showed no ill effects. He set up 2 goals, but the Kings were upset by Tampa Bay 6-3. An anxious Gretzky was the first to arrive for tonight's game, and he did not disappoint even the youngest of his fans. And 99's trademark, the baby powder on the stick. Maybe that's why the passes and the shots are ever so soft and ever so sweet. Tonight, Wayne Gretzky will be on the ice. From Winnipeg, the Los Angeles Kings and the Winnipeg Jets. You know, there are special moments in sports. Some of them are when the great stars return from injuries. Hank Aaron to hit home runs, Johnny Unitas to throw touchdown passes, or Magic and Larry when they came out to score and dazzle. Well, the National Hockey League is celebrating one of those moments right now. The greatest scorer in its history, Wayne Gretzky, will be on the ice tonight in just his 2nd game of the season. Hello, everybody. Gary Thorne, Jim Schoenfeld, and Jimmy, despite all the records he holds, all the numbers he's put up, it only tells part of the story.
Well, no athlete has done more for his sport than Wayne Gretzky has for the game of hockey. Not only did he break all the scoring records, he set a new standard by which all great players will be measured for many years to come. He has the uncanny ability to push himself above and beyond to become better than his absolute best. And you have to admire a guy like that, and that's why he is recognized around the entire sporting world as the greatest athlete to play his sport.
And Jimmy, because of that, there's a lot of pressure that's put on players of that caliber, and none is more aware of that than Wayne Gretzky. The heat is on, and especially now with the Kings.
I'm in a situation similar to Messier's, that if I would have came back a month ago, they were saying I would mess it up, and now I come back when we're losing and they're telling me to clean it up. So I'm in a no-win situation, and I know exactly how Mark feels. I can relate to it pretty good.
Right now he's got a lot of people, a lot of doubters, a lot of detractors, and he wants to show a lot of people a few things yet before he's done. And he came here to win the Stanley Cup, and we feel we have a legitimate chance to win the Stanley Cup this year, and Wayne wants to be a big part of that.
Well, if anybody can handle the pressure, I would believe it's Wayne Gretzky.
Well, I think simply put, he is true hockey genius in the purest sense of the word.
All right, Tom Mees, we're going to go plug in the car, so while we're doing that, because it's 40 below Celsius, we'll turn it back to you.
That's about 100 below wind chill, I guess, Fahrenheit. Keep warm, Gary, and keep warm, Jim, and welcome to our warm studios here. ESPN National Hockey Night. Yes, the great one returns again. I'm Tom Mees, joined, of course, by Bill Clement and Al Morganti, and this is the game lots of us have been waiting for. And Al, 38 games Gretzky missed with what the doctors called a herniated thoracic disc. What concerns him now that he's back playing?
Well, the concerns, if you talk to medical people, of course, you can't even get a guarantee you're going to get off with a common cold. But with the disc injury he has being higher, it's not a Mario Lemieux situation where you say the torque's going to get him, just bending over is going to bother him. You've got to hold your breath now about the hits. There's a little bit of concern. Maybe he's going to take too many hits or something like that. He's wearing some protective equipment, not a flak jacket that was originally prescribed. He didn't think he needed all that.
Now, the LA Kings haven't won a game since December 12th. Gretzky's return will help the offense, Bill. What's the story with the Kings' defense these days?
They're allowing a ton of goals. So today I set out to show how good they were defensively at the start of the season and how bad they are now. For the good, we go back to a game in October. It was the Kings against the Islanders. Daryl Sador moves back to this position because he's got Turgeon going wide. Watch Sador. Loses his footing, goes down. Make matters worse for the Kings, this is Charlie Huddy. He is going to go down, but the guy that you have to watch, once Huddy goes down, and there's Huddy, the guy that you got to watch is here, Tomas Sandstrom. This is terrific defensive support and defensive reading. Sandstrom comes all the way back in, takes away the pass from Turgeon out front. There's Sandstrom. And when you look into this picture, all 6 guys defending. First 28 games, goals against 3.46. Last dozen games, 5.33. Now, the truth of the matter is I spent about 3 hours looking at the last dozen games trying to find an example of how bad the Kings have been defensively. And even in a game which they lost 7-2 to San Jose, they were terrific in their own end defensively. This team is not as bad defensively as people think. They're not far from turning it around. They just got to get some goaltending.
Wayne Gretzky and the LA Kings on the road tonight in Winnipeg in a divisional game with the Jets. We'll hear from the great one a bit later on in our telecast. He had 2 assists in his first game back against Tampa Bay Wednesday night. We'll be back with more in our pregame in just a moment. Winnipeg for the Jets and the Kings. Let's take a look at a goal from a game going on at Joe Louis Arena. Detroit Red Wings entertaining the hot Vancouver Canucks. That means Pavel Bure for Vancouver, and you can expect Steve Yzerman of Detroit to get in the scoring. He has. There's his goal in the first period of play. They're in the second period now, and this game is tied at 2. The Canucks just tying it up. Elsewhere around the NHL tonight, Islanders lead Buffalo 2-0, just getting set for the second period. Senators and Devils 2-2, end of 1 in New Jersey. The Senators haven't lost to the Devils yet this year. The Sharks and the Maple Leafs in Toronto, and the Maple Leafs, who haven't lost to the Sharks this year, lead it by a score of 1-0 at the end of the first period. One of the guys you're going to see for the Winnipeg Jets tonight, remember this name, Teemu Selanne. He's from Helsinki, Finland. He's 22 years old. He has 54 points, leading the rookie scoring parade in the NHL. Back with more in a moment.
National Hockey Night is brought to you by EA Sports Video Games. If it's in the game, it's in the game.
Up-to-the-minute updates from around the NHL before we take you to Winnipeg. This just in from Joe Louis Arena. The Red Wings are back in front just moments ago, but the game tied at 2. Kirk McLean can't stop the shot of Jim Cummins here, who was unguarded on the doorstep. Red Wings lead at 3-2 early in the second. Oh, by the way, the Devils have just taken the lead over the Ottawa Senators, 3-2. Bobby Holik giving the Devils the lead. The Senators have a win and a tie against New Jersey this season. The great one continues his comeback. Wayne Gretzky and the LA Kings, game 2. Back in the lineup for Wayne. Let's go to Winnipeg. Gary Thorne and Jim Schoenfeld to see what happens tonight.
Tom, thanks very much, and we are back here in Winnipeg where the Kings and the Jets meet for the 4th time this season. And we're going to have a change in goaltender tonight for the Los Angeles Kings. David Goverday is playing in only his 3rd National Hockey League game. They have been struggling in net, they being Kelly Rudy and Rob Stauber, the 2 regular goaltenders. So he's been called up to play in tonight's game. And Bob Asenza, the 28-year-old, is off to a great start as a slight groin pull, but he's going to be in net tonight for the Jets. Andy Van Helleman, the senior of all referees in the National Hockey League, will be out dropping the puck. Borsano on the draw against Pat Conacher, and we are underway. Gary Thorne, Jim Schoenfeld, delighted to have you with us. ESPN's National Hockey Night. Paul Coffey chasing it down in behind the net. And the Kings will set it up from there. The Kings have not won in their last 9, 0-7-2, and they have not been scoring. Donnelly, cross ice intended for Conacher. Broken up. Erickson. Taylor moved in, trying to hold it. Donnelly intercepts the attempted clear. Down low, Conacher has the stick ripped out of his hand. Ulanoff got a piece of it. Housley in the corner, battling with Dave Taylor, the veteran. Taylor's got it. Taylor coming in front, centered for Donnelly. Housley intercepts and clears the zone. Blake back to get it. Rob Blake, the 23-year-old, has been one of the better players for the Kings all season. And during this bad streak they've been in, he has been a star. Zamnoff starts it out. He's got Tkachuk with him. Keith Tkachuk drops it. Zamnoff in, centered, score! Teemu Selanne!
Selanne takes a I'm sorry. Here we have the breakout coming up. Selanne is going to take a terrific pass from Zumnar as they break up the ice. Tkachuk's going to drive in. A little pass. Look to the right of your screen. You'll see Selanne going to the net. There's the pass right across. The LA goaltender has absolutely no chance at all. A quick counter by the Winnipeg Jets results in a great goal.
32 goals for the rookie Teemu Selanne, who leads all rookies in scoring, as you might expect, and is up there among the leaders overall in scoring in the National Hockey League. And this is exactly what's been happening to the Los Angeles Kings. They have been getting behind in games early. They've had to try and battle from behind. They haven't been able to do it, and it's happened to them again here tonight against the Jets. Selanne's goal coming at 57 seconds. Zamnoff and Tkachuk picking up the assists on the goal. What a story Selanne is proving to be. 20th in scoring overall, only 22 years old, and could be the Rookie of the Year before it's all said and done.
He has such terrific speed, and he cuts in off the wing, a la Mike Gardner. Right-handed shot. turning those skates right foot over left, and he just drives to the net. And if the puck's on the stick, it's generally past the goaltender.
Winnipeg Jets are led by Solani in scoring with 32 goals and 23 assists now for 55 points. They are led, in fact, by their rookies. The Jets rookies, 73 goals. Everybody else, 65, you can believe that. 5 regular rookies playing for John Paddock's Jets. Paul Coffey drops it off to Donnelly, back to Coffey. Wide side Blake, save made by SNC into the corner. McSorley, Blake dropping it down low. Donnelly's out in front of the net. Near side power play shot deflected wide. Coffey taking it. Chance for the Kings here on Woodson going on the interference call. Donnelly, chance to tie it for them. Tipped wide. Yari Curry in front. Gretzky not out on this power play. McSorley trying to dig it out. Cleared around the boards and out of the zone. So the Kings fall behind, but they get the power play chance. First one of the game. Los Angeles Kings in previous games against Winnipeg, they are 3 for 21 on the power play. Cleared up along the dasher. Blake trying to hold it in does. Good point man, Blake. Coffey dropped it. Gretzky out there. Tipped in. It will not count. It was kicked in. Andy Van Hellemond was right there, and there'll be no argument by Robitaille. He directed it in with his skate.
A quick pass from Coffey to Gretzky. Gretzky over to Robitaille. I don't know that Robitaille directed it. I think he was stationary when the puck hit a skate. But it's such a quick play. I think Van Hellemond made the call that he thinks is the right call. You see the pass come from Gretzky? It would depend. Do you think the player's getting set to shoot, or do you think he's getting set to put it in off the skate? There's Gretzky, the pass coming. We can't see the skate of Robitaille there. But there wasn't much argument from the LA Kings, so you have to think that Andy Van Hellemond made the correct call, Gary.
Gretzky out for his second game this season, 2 assists against Tampa Bay. And he'll continue on this line with a minute left to go on the power play. Blake will go back to get it. The Kings on the power play this season, led by Robitaille's 11 goals. Yari Curry has picked up 8. Coffey has trouble with it. He intercepted. Good check put on by Granato on Borsato. That freed the puck up for the Kings, but they're driven back into their own end. Blake brings it up. 37 left on the power play. Kings do not gain the blue line. Coffey finally ends up dumping it in around the net. SNC went back to get it, and it'll be cleared out of the zone.
That's a bad dump in by Paul Coffey. Everybody's standing still at the blue line. The only people who can get that puck are Winnipeg Jets.
Winnipeg with a good short-handed unit, 4th best overall and 5th at home in killing off penalties. Near side, Tony Granato, Robitaille, Newman and all there. Time running out, 10 seconds of the power play. Coffey for Robitaille. Robitaille to Granato. Gretzky in front of the net. They're looking for him behind it now. That's where, of course, he has worked in his 13 seasons from behind the net. Coffey, the shot, deflected out in front. Power play is over, back at full strength. So the first power play of the game, Kings had it. They do not convert. Robitaille in, leaves it for Gretzky. Winds up Gretzky, fakes it in, tried to center, got the shot on goal twice. SNC made the save. The second shot was from behind. Davidoff brings it up. Eagles in front of him. Davidoff drops it. Back to him, the shot deflected wide. Davidoff set up. He had the opportunity that time. Andy Brickley got the return pass to him. And he had an open net, but he didn't have much of an angle. You can expect a wide open game if these two teams decide to skate. They can do it. Reichel banned on it quickly, dumped it ahead. Evgeny Davidoff could not get there ahead of Charlie Huddy. Huddy in the corner, jammed. Davidoff freed it up in front. Shot save made and kicked away to the near side. Housley dumps it back into the wide side corner. And the Kings back up ice. Warren Reichel, one of the rookies, sends it in around. SNC played on the near side. Yari Curry. Curry's drop pass. Ulanoff's got it. Ulanoff had it deflected on the out. Dave Taylor got a piece of it. Sent right back in. The Jets are leading at 1-0 with a goal in the first minute of this game. Taylor wants a wraparound. Tried to center it in. Housley was there and blocked it. Played by Housley. Good knockdown behind the net. Reichel, Taylor. Taylor trying to get it out in front. And the Kings unable to set up the offensive chance. Housley will bring it. Jets will change on the fly. Here's Solani, who's got the goal. Solani shot. And the save made. Overday, and he's got it underneath him, and the rookie goaltender winding my 3rd National Hockey League game. I got to face Gretzky in his 2nd game back, and a Kings team that struck.
Gretzky skating well in the early stages of the game, Gary. We see a chance on net here, and he's going to be double teamed by the goaltender as Newman goes down and makes a good block. The fake shot, he was looking to McSorley in the slot, but couldn't get the puck to him. I don't think that'll be his last chance at the Jet goaltender tonight.
First game back, of course, 2 days ago, and he hadn't played since last April 28 prior to that time. Pat Conacher putting it in the middle. Olison's got it. Frederick Olison dropped it off. Held in. Olison back up to the point. That'll be cleared out of the zone. 1-0 Jets leading. 5 minutes into this first period. Charlie Huddy goes back on the touch-up, and that'll be an icing call. Take a look at our Budweiser scoreboard at other games being played, and there are quite a few of them going on. Islanders 3-2 lead over Buffalo, and McGillney is absolutely red hot. I tell you, the Ottawa team is giving the Devils fits this season. They're 1-1 against the Devils. San Jose and Toronto. Toronto is still battling for the playoff spot. San Jose just trying to put some W's up. Vancouver, maybe the best team in the National Hockey League in Detroit. Is that going to be the Stanley Cup final matchup?
Not a good sign for the Kings to get behind early in this 9-game winless streak, Gary. They've only scored 2.7 goals per game while allowing 5.7.
Kind of incredible, the numbers that are up there against a team that's a good offensive team. But Barry Melrose told us, their head coach, the whole thing's just falling apart all at once on them. Coffey back to get it. Got tied up by Solani, played by Blake. Shannon moves in on him. Comes back to center ice, and it was touched up in the zone. They were offside as Solani had not gotten out of the zone.
Coaches in the National Hockey League hate to use injuries as an excuse, but I think it's a legitimate reason why the Kings have struggled. They've had too many key people go down all at once, and now they're getting them back one by one, most notably number 99.
Thomas Sandstrom is out. Corey Millen is out. Sandstrom will be skating again when they get back home in another week. Corey Millen's got a groin injury and probably is not going to be back for a while. Tony Granato, Robitaille, and Gretzky on this line. Senza knocked it in behind the net. Uton could not get it out. Gretzky moved up, but it's cleared. Into the middle. Zumnoff, the intended, he was offside. It's a very fast Winnipeg Jet team. They are battling for a playoff spot. Their 14th year in the National Hockey League. They've never gotten beyond the division semifinals, which they've been in twice. They lost to Vancouver last season in the semis, 4-3. John Paddock, their head coach.
Well, they felt they were lacking some toughness, and they made the deal with the New York Rangers. Ty Domi and Chris King came over, and they're two players that will provide you with toughness, and they're both on the ice right now, so we'll wait and see what happens as far as the hitting department goes.
Paddock saying to me this morning that the decision was made. Solani was just getting beat up, their rookie leading scorer, and he said we had to do something, even if it was just putting somebody on the bench as a reminder. We're not going to let that happen. King tips it in. Eagles and Curry go at it on the near side away from the play. A couple of pretty good shots. Marty McSorley, who can play defense and the forward position, is right now working at a forward position and also getting tied up by Eagles behind the play. Hit Andy Van Helleman and stayed in. Senza knocked it into the near side corner, cleared out of the zone. Zitnik goes back to get it, 20-year-old from the Red Army team. Yow! Ty Domi, hello. That's what Domi's partially what he's here for. Marty McSorley in. Centering pass really went through as Reichel was there. Two big checking lines out there right now for these two teams.
Ty Domi does himself a disservice sometimes. He talks so much about fighting. When you watch him play, he's a good skater. He gets it. He makes good, clean, hard contact.
Near side boards. Pat Conacher tied up by Brickley. Former teammates with the Devils. Conacher and Brickley. Defensive play at the other end by Zitnik. Good play. Zitnik broke it up, not allowing Mike Donnelly to move. Intercepted again. Up off the boards by Thompson. Not out of the zone. Jets hold it in. Teppo Numminen. Numminen the shot. Overday makes the save. Rebound shot. Never got in on goal. Boughton took it, but he hit Taylor with it. Boughton, Backey, and Numminen are teamed up. Steen's got it. Steen ahead to Numminen. Numminen, who's got speed, tried to move in. Could not. Just flipped away from him in the pickpocket. That one hit Granato as Kachuk tried to send it in, tries again and goes high off the glass. Thompson back. Thompson dumps it behind the net. Darryl Sador. Sador got hit, but got it around and out of the zone. Hard checking each end. This is a division game. Generally, when you got division games, the physical play is hard. Gretzky back out. Gretzky tried to block it, but it got by him into the corner. Good movement by the Jets here. They're putting heat on. Borsato got tied up behind the net, gets the puck away from Granato, drops it back. Erickson spinning, moving on Sador. Sador takes it away. Sador clears it up, but he paid for it as he got nailed in behind the net by Kachuk. Neither of these teams afraid to hit. The Kings, of course, this season hitting more than they ever have in their history. Played in behind the net by Kennedy. Touch up of the icing call. 11:59 left to go. here in the first period. Jets leading 1-0, and here is Mr. Domi putting the shot on.
Buffalo 3-2. The Islanders leading the Sabres. Former Islander Pat LaFontaine skates in. Glenn Healy retreats in his net, leaving a lot to shoot at for LaFontaine, and he doesn't miss. Islanders 3, Sabres 3. Gary?
Buffalo has been red hot, and that's one of the primary reasons why. Ulanoff from the point, shot deflected. It'll be played in behind the net. David Gouverde from Toronto. 2 games last season in net for the Kings. He's in there tonight. We get a whistle behind the play. Andy Van Hellemans gets the arm up. And I believe it's going to be on the Jets. Well, we're talking about Van Hellemans, Jimmy. We want to send our best to his family. Andy Van Hellemans' dad had a couple of operations in the last week. This is home for the Van Hellemans, so he was at the hospital today to see his dad, who was operated on for the second time, and we wish the family and his father well.
Yeah, we certainly do, Gary. Andy Van Hellemans, one of the nicest officials in the league, also an avid curler. He was at a Bonspiel last night and was with his brother. We saw them at the hotel, and he certainly thinks his father's going to do okay. This is a penalty coming up. Boom, right in the chops. And Shannon will get the gate for that one. And he's lucky he didn't get a double minor. That was a pretty severe swipe, Gary.
8:12 will be the time of the call, and the Kings down 1-0 on Solani's goal at 57 seconds. We'll get their second power play of the game. Wayne Gretzky will be out to center it. The man who gives him a lot of troubles is going to be on the other side, maybe. Ericsson's going to come in to take the face-off. Eagles, who moved out of the face-off zone, is kind of a shadow on Gretzky. And Wayne was saying this morning, he's one of the guys in the league who seems to have Wayne's number. He's wearing number 36. And Eagles has done a lot of bumping and grinding with Gretzky over the seasons. Granato sends it in. There's Eagles kicking it back in behind the net. Granato picks it away. Granato drops it for Robitaille. Robitaille pushing it up to Gretzky. Back to Robitaille. Gretzky back and forth along the corner. Gretzky gives himself a little room. Dumped it in front. Attempted tip was blocked into the corner. Bautin was there to get it, and he's able to clear it out. Paul Coffey, the all-time leading defensive scorer in the National Hockey League, working the point. Gretzky, the tip pass from Robitaille. Into the circle. Takes it. Numanen felt that one. Numanen, it just hit him, and he blocked it. Luciano Borsato ran it up along the boards. Blake grabbed the stick, tied it up. Borsato running off precious minutes, and he drew the penalty as Blake called him down. Blake is going to be called for holding.
Sign of a frustrated team. You're hitting, you're taking the man, but if he doesn't go down first try, you end up grabbing him, pulling him down. Certainly the Kings are a frustrated team. They've had a real difficult stretch, and Blake here takes a bad penalty. It's a terrible thing to eliminate your team's power play, especially when you're down a goal on the road. That's your best chance of equalizing the score.
So Blake heads into the penalty box, the 23-year-old out of there, and credit Luciano Borsato, the former Clarkson University player, for the great effort. And now we go 4-on-4. So the minute 5 left on that Kings power play is gone, and Gretzky is not doing anything short-handed wise at this point, and he goes to the bench in this 4-on-4 situation as well. He played about 6 minutes a period in that first game against Tampa Bay. Held on to behind the net by the Kings. 4-on-4 situation now. Brought out by Coffey, who can still fly. One of the great set of wheels ever in the National Hockey League, Paul Coffey. Along the boards, Donnelly was able to free it up. Held in by Thompson. Donnelly to Jari Kurri. Kurri spinning. Still has the puck pinned up. Frederick Olsson all over him. Donnelly's shot goes wide. Thomas Steen over to get it. Ulanoff trying to get it back to Olsson. Evgeny Davidov comes up to help out. 22 seconds. There'll be a power play. Intercepted Jari Kurri. Kurri the shot. Tipped on goal. Rebound is sent into the corner by Steen. Kurri over together with Olsson on it, and Robitaille. Robitaille lost it behind the net. Ulanoff's got it. Ulanoff, Steen. 7 seconds for a Jet power play here. They got the puck. Ulanoff, 2-1 power play for Winnipeg. Will be their first chance of the game. 5-on-4 power play for the Jets. 9:40 left to go in this first period. Teemu Solani, the first minute of the game goal, is the only one up on the board for the Jets. Romanoff brings it in. Romanoff will set it up. Solani back to him in the middle. Romanoff. Oh, they had it set up for Phil Housley, but Housley couldn't control Teppo Numminen. Back down into the corner. Housley now up along the board. Zumnoff in front of the net, covered up. David Goverday able to make the save.
Martin McSorley back in the blue line killing penalties for the Kings, and you'll see him in front of the net, screening the goaltender there with Dave Taylor, trying to move some of the Jets out of the way. Goverday comes up with a big save for the Kings.
What a situation for Goverday to be in. The two regular goaltenders just being set really is a way to try and fire up this team, and there he is. His third National Hockey League game. Face-off will be to his right. There's still 21 seconds left on this power play for the Winnipeg Jets. Alexei Zemnov, the 22-year-old, won it. Numanen, Solani, centered. Zemnov's shot goes wide. He was wide open, right in the slot. Numanen, they pass it in a hurry. Housley. Housley the spin on Granato. Off Granato's skate out of the zone. 3 seconds left on the LA penalty. Numanen looking for Solani. Tipped in. Charlie Huddy back to get it. Power play is over, and the Kings are back to full strength. Donnelly couldn't touch it up. They'll wave off the ice.
The King defense were very aggressive checking. I think sometimes they pulled out a little too far, and it may end up burning them if the Jets get a few more power plays tonight.
Shannon's pass intercepted, brought back in offside. 8:34 left to go. ESPN's National Hockey Night from Winnipeg. The Jets up 1-0. Harry Curry will take the face-off for the Kings. He's tied for 10th in overall scoring in the league, but he's had only 1 goal in his last 18 games. One of the reasons why they have been struggling. Eagles will take the draw against him for the Jets and won it. Olesen could not hold it in along the line. Frederick Olesen chasing it down. White coming after him. Played up by Olesen and not out of the zone. Curry able to hold it in. Good hold by Curry. It's batted away by King to center. Right back in. Thompson dumped it. Remember, the Kings were still in the zone. Had to clear it. Both teams skating very hard here. This game important for both of them points-wise. In the Smythe division, Los Angeles in 3rd place, 45 points. Winnipeg behind them with 36. Only 4 of the 6 teams, of course, in each division ultimately make it into the playoffs. Eagles at center, dumped it away, and then Thompson will pick it up. Both teams changing it up on the fly. Sticks being held all over the place. Andy Van Hellemond looking as 2 players doing it to one another to let it go. King gets knocked down by Thompson from behind. Gary Curry to Robitaille. Robitaille, Granato, Gretzky. Granato, good move. Granato's shot missed it wide. He got hauled down at the last minute by Teppo Numanen. Coffey can't hold it in. Shots right now, 5-4 in favor of the Kings. Gretzky moving. Gretzky in the middle, Robitaille. Bautin got a piece of it. Good play by Bautin on defense. Ryan Erickson got it out of the zone, and it's sent in by King. Empty net. Look out. Almost got caught behind that time, but fortunately for the Kings, the Jets couldn't gain possession of the puck. Touch up by Bautin around near side, not out. Taylor's centering pass intercepted. Teppo Numanen again coming. Erickson on the crisscross with him. Numanen sends it in. Coffey on the far side, punched it, comes out to center. Robitaille to Gretzky. Gretzky with Numanen in front of him. The move by Gretzky, Housley right on him. Centering pass. No one there. Kings want to change it up. Gretzky heads to the bench. Housley bangs it off the boards. Had to pick it up himself. Pat Conacher's out there. Melrose has said, ironically, for this multi-talented Kings team, the best line over the past couple of weeks has been their veteran. Shot went wide of the net on the turnaround by David Orr. If he'd gotten that one on net, he might have had a shot. This is their best line of late. But Donnelly and Pat Conacher. Conacher whipped it wide, and Taylor's been the other. Those are the old pros.
And the reason is very simple. They've been working harder than the other players in the team.
And as a result, they're getting a lot of playing time. Jammed up behind the net. Andy Brickley took the hit. Jets able to control. David Orff comes all the way back to the blue line. Pull it off behind him. Right between the legs to Housley. Great pass. Housley turning on Sador. Perfect pass that time. David Orff again down the middle. David Orff trying to draw it to the forehand. Comes over to get it. Kicked in. Jets controlling here. Ulanoff able to hold it in a second time. Overdag tries to go back and get it and help out a little bit here. Fans applauding the control. Sean White able to clear it out. Ulanoff right back in. Kings trying to get a change. Shannon going to the corner. Shannon avoids a bit of Huddy that time, but didn't get all of it. Solani got hit. Solani's got the puck. Backhand shot. Save. Made. Rebound covered at the side of the net. Goverday is being tested. On our Budweiser scoreboard, some of the other games we'll keep you updated on in the National Hockey League. Buffalo has now tied the Islanders 3-3 in the second period. New Jersey's up 4-3 on Ottawa. There you see the score staying the same. Toronto up with San Jose. And 3-3 at Detroit.
The speed of Teemu Selanne results in yet another Winnipeg scoring chance. He just outraces the LA Kings to the front of the net, gets a good backhander away, and Goverday has to come up with a big save again for the Kings. The Jets are taking it to the Kings a lot in this first period, Gary.
They are really outskating him. Shot ends up over the head of Goverday. And at center, played back by Domi. They're controlling territorially here. The Kings are not getting the puck in the attacking zone for much time at all. Alexei Zitnik cleared it out to center. Wallason right there to send it back in. Goverday goes in behind the net. They will have close to a sellout here when all is said and done tonight. Not completely sold out. They had 3,000 tickets left before it was announced Gretzky was coming. And then, of course, sales were made.
That's when I bought mine.
They figured to make about $50,000 more because Gretzky's playing tonight than they would have if he had not been here. Zitnik trying to catch the Jets in a change, but he missed Marty McSorley. Teppo Numminen goes back to get it, and that'll be an icing call. Jets leading. They got their goal at 57 seconds into the game. Selanne has it. Goaltender, you think he's celebrating what would have been the 58th birthday of the king of rock and roll?
A one for the money, a two for the show. Impersonation.
Where is that album of yours, huh? How about those sideburns?
It's in the garage.
It's in the garage. 1-0, Jets on top. Comes to center. Here's a 2-on-2 break. Robitaille to Gretzky. Gretzky the move. The shot. Scores! His first goal of the season. Wayne Gretzky ties it at 1-1.
Robitaille and Gretzky on a 2-on-2. A good play by Robitaille as he sets up the pick, taking both defensemen out of the play. Gretzky gets the shot, and it's just tipped by the Jet defender stick, and it beats Essenza. Here's Gretzky coming in. Good play by Robitaille, eliminating both Jet defensemen. Numminen just gets a stick on that puck, redirects it past the goaltender.
Goal number 750 as he chases about the only record he doesn't have. Gordie Howe's 801 goals. Center, Taylor, shot. Essence of the save. Rebound, Housley back to get it. And now the Kings start to put the heat on. Wayne Gretzky getting the goal at 15:32 of the first period. Robitaille picking up one of the assists. 1-1. Selanne, who's got the Jets goal. Into the middle. Shot. Shannon deflected. And cleared up for the Kings.
A nice ovation by the Winnipeg fans for Wayne Gretzky in appreciation of all he's done for hockey in Canada, throughout the United States, throughout the entire world.
So he's back. He's now got a goal and 2 assists in the 2 games that he has played. And we've talked about some of the records that he has. The incredible 58 individual records in the National Hockey League.
That's a lot of scoring, isn't it, Gary? That just boggles my mind when I see a player put up numbers like that.
And against Winnipeg, listen to this. In 86 games, he has scored 70 goals and 131 assists against one team, the Winnipeg Jets. Can you believe that?
Yeah, but can he make balloon animals? I guess that's the key question.
He now has 201 points against Winnipeg. Robitaille covered up, and there will be no rebound chance. Essence out to get it. There it is. More than anyone else, as you would expect it would be against a division opponent in the Smythe, but that's a career for many players against everybody else. He's in such a great mood, too. He's so ready to play. He is so excited about being back. John Paddock, the Jets coach, said, gee, I wish he would have waited maybe one more game. He's not going to play against Chicago tomorrow. He's not supposed to anyway. They'll re-examine, make sure he's okay, take a day off. They've got to stay on the road. They're on a 4-game road trip, including Pittsburgh, Chicago, here, and New Jersey. Teppo Numminen. Robitaille getting a piece of him, held it in. Granato dropped it to Gretzky. Gretzky, the move. Look at the pass to Coffey, and it was tipped wide. Granato. So Gretzky shows no sign of any rust. Back to Robitaille, and the save. In behind the net, Bautin's got it.
Gary, what he does better than any player in the game is see the ice so extremely well.
Larry Curry stepped in and knocked it away from Borsato. Held in by Erickson. Borsato and Curry. Coffey moves over, trying to help out with Erickson reaching in for the puck. Robitaille just gets it out of there to take the heat off. He'll wave anything off here. Played in behind the net. McSorley was up on the forecheck. Steen's got it. Steen ahead to Erickson. Erickson's pass blocked. Larry Curry drops it off again for Marty McSorley. McSorley. Jimmy was talking before the game about McSorley and how he has made himself a really good hockey player. A defenseman and a forward, and very good at both. Steen brings it up. Steen dumps it in. Zitnik back to get it. Alexei Zitnik played a year with the Red Army team, only 20 years old, or one of the 5 rookies that the Kings have had off and on in the lineup this season. Steen's pass all the way around Reichel. Reichel trying to center for Marty McSorley. Couldn't get it there. Thompson back to get it. Thompson just dumps it in. We're down to 2:04 left to go. Offside the call. 1-1 game.
As I mentioned, Gary, Gretzky sees the ice so well. He's a step ahead of everybody. He knows what he's going to do with the puck before it's on a stick. Boom, takes a look. There's Granato coming in. A good shot. Asenza goes down, makes the save. That was the second great pass Gretzky had made in that shift. He shows no signs of rust, as you said, Gary. He's skating extremely well tonight.
We'll hear from Wayne during our first intermission. We're going to talk with Wayne Gretzky, a conversation we had with him this morning. And the guys back at the studio will bring you up to date on all the other scores and some highlights and comments as well. Brought in quickly by Gene Davidorf. Rolled it in on goal. Well, Jimmy and I were kind of smiling today because if Jenny Davidorf has decided he wants to be called Gene, but somehow the first name doesn't fit the last. Our next ESPN National Hockey Night, 7:30 next Friday, will be at Detroit as the San Jose Sharks will take on the Red Wings. Sergei Fedorov, 19 goals, 20 assists, 39 points, leading the Red Wings currently second in the Norris Division. That's next Friday, our National Hockey Night from Detroit. Minute 50 to go here in this first period. On the near side, Taylor's got it. Taylor looking up ice. Great pass, Mike Donnelly. Better play, Housley. They say he can't play a lot of defense. You wouldn't have known it right there. Taylor out in front. Donnelly, Conacher, top step, back. Shot was blocked on the backhander that time by Donnelly. Defenseman actually got the stick in that time. Steen was there to block it. Sador sends it back in. Stayed up on the dasher halfway around. Rolls back out to center. Robitaille back to get it. Barry Melrose, the Kings coach, will put out hot lines, and he's got Gretzky's line out there again. He does not hesitate to double shift or move people around. He wants people hot during the game on the ice. Paul Coffey off the boards for Blake. Blake over for Granato off the boards. Tony Granato, former Wisconsin player, moving it in, tried to dump. Bautin knocked it away. A minute left to go in this 1-1 game in the first period. Shannon's got it. Shannon. Zumnoff in the middle. Shot is wide by Davidorf. Robitaille will pick it up on the far side. 46 seconds to go. Intercepted and a penalty coming up on Granato. Tony didn't have much choice on that one. Granato either had to get him down or it was going to be a clear break-in for Davidorf.
A bad giveaway by the King defenseman, and Granato saves their bacon by taking the penalty, or Davidorf would have had an opening going clear in on the goaltender. You see the penalty there. Maybe could have stayed with him, maybe could have skated, but you have to react in a split second. And when you see a forward going in clear on your goaltender like that, the stick's going to come out, you're going to hook him, and you're going to take the chance that your team's going to be able to kill off the penalty.
Only 43 seconds left to go in this period, so 19-16 will be the time of the call. Granato out on the hooking, and the opportunity for Winnipeg again to go back on the power play, their second power play chance of the game. Barry Melrose. He's trying to put a little bit more pressure on because he's taking some pressure. Nick Beverly, the GM, who got back from the junior championships and said, what is going on with this team?
And had someone told the Kings before the season started they'd be in third place in January, everyone would have been pleased with that.
Yeah, you got it. Housley's got it. Power play for the Jets. 35 seconds in the period. Rolled a free in front. Housley off his skate. Decided he had to turn back to center. Olofsson's got it. Zumnoff drops it off for Shannon. Couldn't handle it. Kings able to clear. Still time here. 17 seconds remaining to go. Olofsson's got it. Olofsson near side for Housley. They'd like to get one more good rush here and get another shot on if they can, but they won't. Taken back in behind the net with only 5 seconds left to go. Maybe they will. Housley dropped it off. Solani shot deflected off the defenseman. Housley batted it down. They did get the chance. We've completed one here in Winnipeg. The Jets and the Kings are tied at 1-1. Lots coming up for you in our first intermission. And Tom Mees and the guys have got it. Thomas?
All right, Gary, thanks. 1-1, and we must have ESPN, because didn't we talk about Timo Solani and didn't we talk about Wayne Gretzky in our open? Well, those are the two fellows who have dented the twine tonight for the Winnipeg Jets and the LA Kings. Let's take a look at another game going on at the Aud in Buffalo. A high-scoring affair between the Islanders and the Buffalo Sabres. Alexander Mogilny of Buffalo taking the pass from Ken Sutton and blasting it by Glenn Healy for his 39th goal to time with Mario Lemieux. Then Glenn Healy makes the save on Randy Wood's drive, but Ken Sutton puts in the rebound for Buffalo. And the Sabres, who once trailed in this game 2-0, now lead it by a score of 5-3. Mogilny for Buffalo has 15 goals in his last 7 games. LaFontaine also has a goal tonight for Buffalo. In just a few moments, we'll hear from the great one himself, Wayne Gretzky, who sat down and chatted with our Gary Thorne prior to tonight's game at the Winnipeg Arena. That and lots more still to come after 1 in Winnipeg. We're tied at 1, the Kings and the Jets.
National Hockey Night is presented by the New Dodge, a division of the Chrysler Corporation.
1-1 after 1 in Winnipeg. Welcome back to our National Hockey Night studios. I'm Tom Mees. Bill Clement and Al Morganti will join me in just a moment. Let's take you around the NHL. 4 other games tonight, including Joe Louis Arena, where the Detroit Red Wings are hosting the Vancouver Canucks in a very interesting matchup. 3-2 Detroit when Peter Nedved comes in 1-on-2 and beats Tim Chevrolet to tie the game at 3. Then Jimmy Carson for the Red Wings taking a pretty pass from Dino Ciccarelli here, beating Kirk McLean right down the slot. 4-3 Detroit. That's where the score stands. McLean in net for Vancouver, undefeated in his last 10 starts. Might see one crop up in the L column tonight if the score stands up 4-3. The Sharks and Maple Leafs 2-1 Toronto. You see San Jose woeful in their last 19 games, having a rough sophomore season. And can the Devils beat Ottawa? They haven't done so in 2 games so far this year. Ottawa, though, hasn't won on the road. It's 4-3. Herb Brooks' team after 2 periods at the Meadowlands. Of course, Wayne Gretzky, his second game back. Al Morganti, he does have a goal tonight, but the real news is that he's back already in January. Earlier this season, we were led to believe he may never come back.
That's right. I don't know if people realize how amazing it is. We're 2 months ahead of schedule here, and I think it shows 2 things about Gretzky. A, his work ethic. A lot of people see the obvious natural talent. This shows the work ethic, rehabbing from an injury like that. And B, I was talking to Cap Rader, who went through the whole training sessions with him, how much he missed it. He made it a point. He said, I'm coming back early. Cap Rader said that he never realized how much Wayne really loved the game. You think it was a revelation to Gretzky himself, hey, I really missed this. I'm getting back as quick as I can. And it kind of was a rebirth. He might have been burned out a little at the end of last year.
Bill, no matter what the sport, any great athlete, any world-renowned athlete has characteristics that never leave. That's the same with Gretzky, isn't it?
Well, Wayne has trademarks, not only the way he moves on the ice, but also the areas of the ice that he likes to dominate. One is behind the net. Another one is just inside the blue line. And we're going to show you a play that he made in the first period, which was on the power play. Naturally, when Paul Coffey gets the puck, he wants to move it up, hopefully to Gretzky. In this case, watch this great redirection by Robitaille right there to Gretzky. Now, we'll stop it here. Why? Because this is where Wayne likes to stop. Now, the onus now is on people away from him to get open. That's all you got to try to do. Wayne is looking back at the blue line to see if anybody's there. They're covered, but he's got a couple of things going for him. 2 people going to the net, which really turns out to be a problem, and I'll show you why. Both of them end up right in front of the net. If one of them had been perhaps over here, if Luc Robitaille had moved to this side, Wayne would have something to pass to. He looks back to the blue line, still nobody open. So he's waiting here for somebody to get open. What does he do? He tries to shoot, and it's stopped. So really, all you got to try and do is get open when you're with Wayne on the ice and keep your stick on the ice, and sooner or later the puck will arrive.
And I thought Gary Thorne made a good point, a salient point. No rust at all. If we can use the boxing term, no ring rust on Gretzky.
No, actually, he's in the best shape of his career. His oxygen intake levels, he is in the best shape he's been since maybe his rookie year.
Well, every game for Wayne Gretzky, it seems, is a milestone game. Why do I say that? Well, he did score a goal tonight. That's career number 750 for Wayne Gretzky. You're looking at it now. Career number 70 against the Winnipeg Jets alone in his 1,001st game in the NHL. 1-1 after 1. Fans across North America, because the great one, Wayne Gretzky, is back on the ice much sooner than expected. 2 assists in his first game, already a goal in the first period against the Winnipeg Jets tonight. And before tonight's game at the Winnipeg Arena, Wayne Gretzky sat down to chat about his return with our Gary Thorne.
Wayne, I guess, first of all, how'd it feel?
Well, I feel great. I mean, it's just fun to be back. I think it's something I waited for a long time, and I feel very fortunate that I'm getting a second chance. I feel great.
I saw you said there were points while you were waiting where you thought you might never play this game again. What was that like?
Well, it was a bad feeling because, you know, something you love to do and do every day for 27 years, and all of a sudden they say you can't do it anymore. It's pretty frustrating. So what I tried to do was be positive through it the whole time, and fortunately for me, I had great people around me, the doctors, my teammates, the organization, and most of all my family and my wife.
Have you been able to establish a relationship, you and Barry Melrose, with the fact you've been out this season?
Well, we have and we haven't. I mean, I respect him, and I think he's a great coach, and I've really admired watching the work that he's done with our team. And I'm just getting to know him now because I'm just being around now. But for Barry and I, it was probably the greatest thing that happened, me not being here, because there's this mystique about that Wayne Gretzky makes the decisions with the Kings and runs the Kings, and it's so unfair and so untrue that by me not being here, the players in the locker room realize that it's Barry's team, and it's his decisions, and what he says goes.
Do you have to change what you do in the ice?
Not at all, and I think that if you're apprehensive as an athlete, that's when you get hurt. And I said earlier that I just got to do my job. I got to play hard. And in Barry's system, if you don't play hard, you don't play. And that's good by me because I love to play and I love to work hard. And I'm just going to do the best I can to contribute. And, you know, if I was worried about injury, I wouldn't play. I'm not worried about it. But in the same breath, I realize that I'm human.
All right, Wayne Gretzky is human, but you could fool a lot of opposing coaches around the NHL with that line, with his superhuman performances over the years. Remember when Gretzky came to L.A. in the 88-89 season? The Kings got off to a great start that year. They averaged over 4.5 goals a game. Their production went down the next year, about the same down the next year. And before Gretzky came back, the production went back up. How will it be affected with Wayne Gretzky's return? Only the last few months of the season will tell us. Hockey Night returns next Friday night, 7:30 Eastern Time. The Detroit Red Wings hosting the San Jose Sharks. Steve Eisenman and company coming your way at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. In Buffalo, there's a new leader in goals scored in the National Hockey League. And Mr. Mogilny, Alexander Mogilny, number 89, picking his spot, potting his second goal of the night, 40 on the season and counting. The Sabres lead at 5-3 after 2.
National Hockey Night is brought to you by the New Dodge, a division of the Chrysler Corporation, and by O'Doul's from Anheuser-Busch. Premium beer taste without the alcohol.
A cold night at Winnipeg Arena, at least outside, but some hot action on the ice inside. Teemu Selanne early for the Jets. Wayne Gretzky late for the Kings. What will happen in the second period? Back to Manitoba we go, and Gary Thorne and Jim Schoenfeld.
Tom, thank you very much. Team's out for the second period. This Winnipeg team +3 in their last 3 here at home. They've got a 1-1 game after a 1 against the Kings.
Well, when you get two great players together, good things are going to happen. Robitaille and Gretzky a 2-on-2. The little drop pass. Robitaille eliminates the Jet defenders. Gretzky tees it up. He's got to feel good, Gary, getting that goal out of the way. When you're out of the lineup a long time and you're a goal scorer and you come back, you want to do what you did before you left. That is score goals. He got the 2 assists against Tampa, so he has his points going, and he's gotten the goal tonight against the Jets. The great one is back.
He had 2 shots on goal in that first period. There you see the all-time leader in scoring. So far and away from everyone else, it's almost as though he is in another sphere as far as what he's done. We're talking today, I had one great statistic. Some mathematician actually worked out the number. If Babe Ruth had to hit home runs when he broke the all-time record and hit 60 in a season, what would it have been like? What would Gretzky, what's the equivalent of Gretzky? Well, in order to equal what Gretzky did, the differential, he would have to have hit 120 home runs to equal what Gretzky did in his all-time scoring season. I mean, it's phenomenal. Penalty still up on the board for the Kings, 1:16 left on it. So the Jets have got a chance here on this power play to try and do something with it. Dropped down low, cleared around the boards, but not out. Phil Housley able to hold it in. Olesen along the point. Selanne, who's got the goal for the Winnipeg Jets, centering pass blocked by Marty McSorley. Solani got his at 57 seconds into the game. Gretzky got his late in the period. Taylor, the shot and the save made. Essence of making the save on a breakaway short-handed effort. Almost. And it'll be sent in by the Kings. Solani without the helmet on now. He lost it down there in the corner. Goberday behind the net. Zumnoff took it away from him. 39 seconds left on this Jets power play. Blake clears it by Olsen.
McSorley did a great job. I talked about the aggressive defenders in the Kings zone. He went right to Solani, caused the turnover, one pass, and Taylor goes into breakaway for the Kings.
Dave Taylor, 37 years old, skating like 17 on that one. Erickson in, shot save. Goberday rebound. Zumnoff centered, score! Power play goal picked up by Darren Shannon. Play by Zumnoff on the rebound, has his head up, sees Shannon out of the corner of his eye, left to your screen. Shannon's driving to the net, and he gets it past the LA goaltender. Zumnoff, a heads-up play on the rebound, shot by Solani. That is the third power play goal of the season for Darren Shannon. The 23-year-old has given his Jets a 2-1 lead. 59 seconds in. Zumnoff and Erickson picking up the assist, so the Jets 57 seconds into the first period, 59 seconds into the second period have picked up the goals.
Here's a play developing, Gary. There's the shot, and you'll see at the top of your screen, Zumnoff, he just sees Shannon. Oh, what a good pass. That's an alert play. A lot of players would just tee that up and crank it. You've got to be looking around the ice. This is a fellow they wanted to come in and take Dale Howardchuk's skates and fill them. Dale Howardchuk, the great playmaker for the Buffalo Sabres. And they thought that Zumnoff could come in and play a Howardchuk type of game. Well, that was certainly a Dale Howardchuk type of play right there.
Great play, great goal. Andy Van Hellemond talking with the Kings, something about the clock. They are looking up at the clock right now. The Kings were complaining about something, and in all honesty, I'm not sure what. But it was right after the goal, and Van Hellemond went over to check it out. And Gretzky then talked to Andy Van Hellemond again about it, and still isn't very happy with whatever it is.
John Paddock has his work cut out, not only coaching this team, but he has a little bit of the United Nations. He has players from Canada, United States, Sweden, Finland, and Russia. And he laid the law down a short while ago saying that only English would be spoken in the dressing room. He wants his team to be a unit, therefore they have to start with communication.
Tried to develop that team chemistry. He said the hardest thing for the European players to adjust to is the schedule of the National Hockey League. He said, I don't think they have to do a lot to play the game, but they only play 40-game seasons. He says, and it's this travel and 84 games that really starts to wear on them early. Back to the point. Bautin is open. Bautin, the shot. Saved by Goberday. Rebound. Shannon, it hit a skate. Shannon tried to drop it back, and Robitaille can't clear it out. Bautin again. Tip. Behind him. Covered up by Goberday.
Robitaille commits a cardinal sin for wingers. When that puck comes to you along the boards, you have to either get it out or eat it. He gives it away to defenseman Bautin, who takes the shot, and it's tipped. And again, Goberday has to come up with a save to keep the Kings at only down 1 goal to these Winnipeg Jets.
Goberday has no idea whether he's going to be here for 1 game a season tonight. He just doesn't know, and he's out there trying to earn himself maybe a chance to play some more games for the Los Angeles Kings with Kelly Rudy and Rob Stauber have been red-hot goaltenders earlier. Right now, cold. Housley's got it. Sends it in behind the net. Hardy going to the corner. Thomas Steen beats him to it. Olnoff and McSorley, Steen and Huddy. Daryl Sador. Sador got pinned in, turned around. They do clear the zone. Olnoff will send it back to Housley. Second period, Gary Thorne, Jim Schoenfeld, and we are delighted to have you with us at ESPN's National Hockey Night. This beautiful city of Winnipeg, Manitoba.
These are the players from the Winnipeg Jets. You see the numbers. Canada 14, USA 5, Finland 2, Sweden 2, and what was formerly the USSR 4. And that's a real job for a coach. It's difficult enough communicating with people who understand the language. Some of these players really have a hard time getting the message through. But when you have that language barrier, it makes the job doubly difficult.
And only one of their 9 leading scorers is Canadian, which is really amazing. Anyway, for any NHL team, but even more so for teams in Manitoba, Canada. Taken back in behind the net. We weren't kidding in our open either, by the way. It's minus 40 tonight. And I understand when it gets to minus 40, it's the same Celsius and Fahrenheit. Good hit by Olnoff. Good hit by King on Zitnik. And the fans applauding that as the shots are taken here at center ice. Dobidor, Zitnik playing in behind the net. Zitnik of the Kings gets it by and then took the shot. Will be sent in by Taylor. Taylor, Conacher. Collide, offside, and we'll check in with Tom East.
All right, Gary, we showed you graphically that the Devils lead Ottawa by 2. Here's how it happened. Watch the goaltender, Peter Sidorkovich, for Ottawa. And here comes big Scott Niedermayer, pitching in for the blue line, right between the legs. Niedermayer scores. It's 5-3 New Jersey in the third. Niedermayer's third of the year.
Ottawa is 3-36-3. Can you believe that? 3 wins, none on the road.
That's a long, long season.
Woof.
Here's something I bet you didn't know, Gary. Wayne Gretzky has scored at least 30 goals, 85 assists, and 120 points in each of his 13 NHL seasons. Top that one later on.
Okay. Won't be hard. I just got to pick out one of the other 57 records that he has. Granato shot. Deflected wide. Essence in net. Got a piece of that with a block. Robitaille ran it to center. Coffey the other way to Granato. Tony Granato wide side. Rob Blake. Blake cutting in. Blake avoiding the hard shot by Tkachuk. Keith Tkachuk took a pretty good piece of him right there. Gretzky held it in again. Return pass for Gretzky goes to the corner. Robitaille swung it around to the near side. Boutin is there. Not out of the zone. Blake gloving it ahead. Bounced it and caught in the face. That time was Keith Tkachuk. He heads to the bench. The puck hit him in the face, and he's going to the runway. Boutin behind his own net. And the Jets able to break it out. A 2-1 lead for Winnipeg. Solani. Solani with Coffey on him. I mean, all over him. Fans want to call. Solani muscled it. Now Coffey takes him down, and he's going to get the penalty. That's Spicer's lost his helmet. It's going to be a power play, and he earned that one as Coffey's going to head to the penalty box.
Starting with a puck, and the Kings just stop working, grab him, and throw him to the ice. You have to remain competitive there. You have to grind it out. You can't just grab the player, throw him to the ice. You put your team in a bad situation.
Solani's one tough player. Shot by Housley wide. He has good size. Solani's 6-footer, up around the 200-pound mark out of Finland, 22 years old. Housley, power play for the Jets. Chance to get a 2-goal lead. Saved over Day. Has got it underneath him as Olofsson took the shot, and that one went bing, bang, boom, and didn't go in as it went from leg to leg. Our Budweiser scoreboard. Buffalo up at the Islanders now 5-3. McGillney's red hot. Tom was telling you about that. New Jersey now up by 2 on Ottawa, trying to beat them for the first time this season. Toronto's added 2-1 lead. They had a 1-0 lead. San Jose came back, and Detroit now has the lead on the Vancouver Canucks.
Shannon had great body position in front of Goverday for that shot from the point by Numanen. A great tip and another great save by the King netminder.
Thomas Steen, 12 years in the National Hockey League, and all of them right here with the Jets. Sent into the wide side corner. Shannon pulled away from McSorley and was able to free the puck up. Battle for it. McSorley moved in. Shannon again got it. Steen on the near side. Power play here, the minute 30, plenty of time left on it, but the Jets lose control as Donnelly's able to clear it out. Penalty killing team of Los Angeles has fallen from last season. They were 6th overall in the league last year. They are 15th in the National Hockey League killing off penalties right now. Trying to tighten up on this one as the Jets have gone 1 for 2 on the power play tonight. Davidoff brings it in. Tip to Shannon. Shannon with Steen in front of him. Housley to the point. Shot again, and it's held on to as Olofsson. Another chance. Overday able to make the save on the high shot.
Which may turn out to be a saving grace for the Kings killing penalties is that the Winnipeg Jets have allowed 8 shorthanded goals against this season. Last year, they allowed only 6 the entire year. So they're very suspect when they're in the power play. They gamble a lot. They have players that play a little bit soft in their own end of the rink. When you have 8 shorthanded goals against at this stage in the season, you just aren't bearing down enough when you're on the power play.
A 2-1 lead for the Jets, who still have a minute left to go on it. The Kings, however, able to clear it out. Essensa left it in behind the net. Housley will start it up. There's all the ear markings. The one that's going to go down to the wire. Solani. Sent in. Near side Sador tried to bang it out. Housley held it in again. Versato couldn't get it. Reichel just reached around Housley. Batted the puck away and took Housley down. Teppo Newman back to get it. 28 seconds on this Jets power play. Shots right now are 13-11 in favor of the Jets. Luciano Borsato sends it in. Sometime in his lifetime he has got to own an Italian restaurant. Back up. Nope. Newman can't hold it in. Is that a great name or what? Yeah, meet you at the door. Hi, I'm Luciano Borsato and I own this little restaurant. Blake's got it. Blake trying to send it out. Can't. Comes to the near side. Newmanen. Teppo Newmanen dropped it behind the net. Newmanen's got it back. Power play is over. Even strength. Zumnoff steps up, holds it in. Zumnoff down the middle. What a move. Zumnoff tried again. Sador knocked it away. Newmanen the shot. Save made with a glove. And the Kings will clear it out. Overday, a good tough save. Taylor. Newmanen fell down, gets back up, moves in on him, even strength. Gretzky, and scores! He was trying to pass to Granato. It deflected in, and Gretzky's got his second goal of the game.
Unbelievable. When you're great, you're great. I could take that shot. It would hit a skate, go to the opposing team. They would go down the ice and score a goal against me. The great one shoots it off a skate and into the net. It's great showing Gretzky highlights, isn't it? He does not disappoint. He walks out, takes a look. He's going for the pass off a jet skate, and the score is tied at 2s.
Didn't take him long, did it? His second goal of the game, second goal of the season, and his second game. And the Winnipeg Jets know that Gretzky's back again, and it is a 2-2 game. Robitaille to Gretzky in the corner. He shot it again off the side of the net that time. Essensa, he didn't even have an angle. Shot again. Essensa makes the save on Tony Granato. Wayne Gretzky, a 2-goal game, and this one is tied. Wayne Gretzky credited with his second goal from Taylor and Coffey at 6:12. He had 7 minutes of ice time in the first period. A minute more than he was taking per period in that first game the other night. As we said, Melrose has got to feel like he can just keep throwing him out there the way he's skating. Jets come back, sent in by Erickson, wide side corner, chased down by Paul Coffey, tipped it away to Granato. Granato up along the boards to Gretzky. Gretzky waiting for it to come to him. Now starts to center. Poke checked away from him by Erickson. So the Jets have had the lead twice in this game, and the Kings have come back to get it tied up. Intercepted Robitaille. Robitaille looking for Granato, cutting in front, goes to Gretzky the other way instead. Gretzky back to Granato. A shot went right through the crease with Robitaille moving in, trying to put the tip in. Coffey lost it. Bautin. The defense back for the Kings, and the Jets will change it up. And they will be called on the icing. 2-2 here. Tom East.
Hi, Gary, and Joe Louis Arena, 4-3 Detroit. Look at the play by 36-year-old Mark Howe. Cutting down the slot, see Steve Yzerman wide open. Yzerman is 31st from Mark Howe, 5-3 in the third.
Two very talented teams in Detroit and Vancouver. The Vancouver Canucks, #1 in the Smythe division, and Detroit behind Chicago right now by 5 points. 12:44 to go in this second period. Frederick Olofsson of the Winnipeg Jets up for Ty Domi. Domi drops it in the middle. Steen moving in. Steen dropped it back to the point. David Orff got run into by a couple of Kings, and we've got a whistle coming up away from the play. Now McSorley and Domi. Oh boy. Now here's a couple of heavyweights. Ty Domi talking with him this morning, very happy that he is here. He wants less of the publicity he was getting in New York. Family's coming out here next week, going to buy a home, going to move in here. Fans love him. He's going to give some protection to the skilled players of the Jets.
Oh, and they definitely need it. And I don't know that it's a good move for the New York Rangers. They have a lot of highly skilled players. Eddie Olczyk's a terrific hockey player, don't get me wrong. They have a lot of guys that skate well, score goals. Domi added another dimension, and Chris King is sometimes forgotten in this trade. He's as good a solid up and down left winger as there is in the National Hockey League. The Rangers may miss both of these players.
Domi heading to the bench.
Domi will come in McSorley. Earlier on, McSorley high stick Olsen behind the Jet net. And Domi realizes I have to come and just let you know that it's not allowed anymore, Marty. But Marty's not a guy that anyone in their right mind wants to tangle with either.
McSorley drew the penalty, the original call. There were no others. High sticking, 7:31. So the power play again. 1 for 3 in the power play for the Jets. Frederick Olsen setting it up. Shannon trying to set up in front of the net. Wraparound shot. Save. Where is it? Pushed in. No goal. The whistle blew before Alexei Zumnov was able to put it in the net. Goverday had no idea where the puck was. He had made the save and the puck was sitting between his legs. He looked behind him.
He's a little slow. He's across in time, but he has no idea where the puck is. Zumnov, of course, thinks it's loose, and he just pokes at it. But Shannon makes a good, quick move coming around. And you see the LA goaltender go down. He's looking, where's the puck? Where's the puck? He thought it was in front of him. They poke it past. But Van Hellemond says that the whistle went before the puck went over the goal line.
So there is no goal. Goverday coming up from a season with Phoenix in the IHL. He was 14-11-0. 3.73 goals against and an 8.94 percentage save. 22 years old, out of Toronto, Ontario. Playing in just his third NHL game. The other two were last year.
And playing pretty well in his third NHL game.
Settling down a little. Housley. Goverday moves out, sweeps it around near side. Zumnov back up to the point, intercepted and cleared out by Jari Kurri. Olsen's got it. Plenty of time left on this Jets power play. Robitaille up on the forecheck, forcing Olsen out on the near side. Minute 35 left on the penalty. Bill Housley, Teemu Selanne. Teemu Selanne hooked from behind Sador. No call. Selanne was looking for it, didn't get it. And the Kings got a break on that one.
That's the speed and the strength of Selanne. Cutting in off that wing. If it wasn't for the hook, he would have been right in on top of the LA goaltender one more time.
And a 2-2 game with 11:43 to go in this second period. Near side point. Sador's there to clear it out. Housley tried to knock it down, could not. Essensa played it around the net. Pat Conacher there for the Kings on the forecheck. Housley behind his own net again. 1 minute left to go in this Jets power play. Housley gets it up. Zumnov could not play it. Taylor knocked it away. Conacher giving chase. Housley starts it up again. Near side Selanne. Selanne drop pass to Shannon. Shannon centering. Selanne went to the far side. Zumnov plays it. Zumnov high slot. Selanne! He had a wide open net, but he couldn't get the body lined up to get the shot. It was wide open as David Goverday had come to the near side and had left the net wide open. Housley knocks it away. Blake's got it short-handed. Blake, Olsen in front. Blake looking for help. Granato had cut to the net, couldn't find him. So he rags it back in behind. 18 left on the Jets power play champ. Donnelly pinned it up for a moment. Jets may get one more rush here. Olsen drops it off. Rosado sends it in. 8 seconds on the advantage. King. Sador looking for free lane. Finds it down the middle, and the penalty is over. In Donnelly, even strength. Donnelly, the shot. Scores! And the Kings take a 3-2 lead.
Donnelly off a nice feed from Sador. Just inside his blue line, Sador breaks out. Donnelly drives to the net, beating Housley on the outside and puts it past Essensa. The speed of Donnelly certainly evident there. He gets half the stride on Housley, and there's no way anyone's going to catch him. He comes in, and it looks like it went 5-hole as Essensa was going down. And there's a happy Los Angeles King.
18th of the season for Mike Donnelly, who is the 4th leading scorer on the team. Comes at 9:34, just after the Kings penalty had expired. So it is an even strength goal, and for the first time, the Kings have taken the lead in this game on their 12th shot. They lead 3-2. That's an offside 2 line pass. Let's take a look at our Visa storyline. Wayne Gretzky, his second game of the season, has picked up 2 goals here tonight. Teemu Selanne, leading rookie scorer in the National Hockey League, is 32nd. Zamnov has 2 assists. Face-offs, Winnipeg winning them 2-1 right now against Los Angeles, but the Kings still have the 3-2 lead. Gretzky out to take the face-off against Borsato. Played back at center. Jets trying to set it up. Steen flips it into the corner. Borsato with Coffey. Near side boards at the point. Vaughton waiting for someone to get in front. Nobody got there, but he was at the point now to shoot it in. Now Coffey, he didn't take his glove off. It fell off. Paul's not one to want to. He's wise with experience about dropping gloves.
Well, when you do the things that Coffey does with the stick and the puck, it's to your disadvantage to get into a scrap. How the Los Angeles Kings like Coffey to be out for 6 weeks with a broken wrist? He provides enough offensive thrust for this LA team. He doesn't have to be throwing his weight around.
There you see Paul Coffey in points by defensemen this season, second only to Steve Duchesne of Quebec. But all time, Paul Coffey, number 1. 1,160 points. He's going to go to the All-Star game for the 11th time this season.
The 4th man on that list is the Jets' Phil Housley. He has 9 goals, 33 assists for 42 points. And last year was his first postseason selection for the All-Star game, although he'd averaged 22 goals, 72 points over the 10 seasons that he's played.
Housley out there tonight. We've seen him. Reichel's got it. Now we get the fight behind the play. Marty McSorley and Ty Domi. McSorley has 224 minutes in penalties, obviously leading the Kings. Ty Domi has a total of 106. Domi's playing in his 6th game as a Jet. Ty Domi felt, when McSorley drew that last penalty, that Marty McSorley had taken an unfair run at Evgeny Davidov. And they talked the last time. This time they're doing more than talking.
Well, they'll be too tired to talk when this is all over.
Well, I tell you, this is fierce. McSorley may be the best fighter in the National Hockey League, even though Bob Probert has gained a lot of justified respect in that department.
Well, a lot of punches were thrown, not many landed, but that's very, very tiring, that wrestling around. They're going to need the timeout to recover some of their energy.
3-2 Kings. After having struggled last year, Vancouver expected to be there. Edmonton has never missed the playoffs. Will they do it this year? A lot of people think they're not going to make it in this division for the first time. 5 for fighting. McSorley and Domi at 10-18. No instigator on that one. Kings are leading it by a score of 3-2. You're seeing the jamming that's going on right now. Mike Eagles put that big hit on in the corner. Thompson's got to go back and pick up his stick and his glove. Ulanoff, McIntyre went after him, and McIntyre paid the price on that one. Stick kicked away, overskated. Kennedy came back to get it. Wrigley will have to chase it down. Zitnik on the near side. Gretzky comes back out. Zitnik got it ahead. White, Gretzky looking, waiting for some help, holding. Wayne Gretzky to the near side. Gets a pick from Thompson, sends it in. Good job by Davidov that time, who stayed with him. Kings come out in front of their own goaltender. Ulanoff that time was right through the crease. Down the middle, Zamnov. Coffey takes him down, rebound, almost! The puck came free and Wrigley had it, but couldn't get it lined up for the shot. Flipped out of the zone by Reichel. Pace of the game again picking up. Numanen trying to lead it into Selanne. Teemu Selanne centered. Knocked away Govedev got a piece of that one. Gretzky gets it back. Robitaille in front. Couldn't get it through Solani. Teemu Solani, nice job back-checking as he broke up the pass. Gretzky back into Robitaille. Robitaille to Coffey! And he missed it wide. Paul Coffey was all by himself as he snuck in. They get a whistle as the puck ends up on the bench, and we'll have a penalty. We'll get the call when we come back. Tom?
All right, Gary, let's go to the Meadowlands in New Jersey, where the Devils are trying to win their second game in a row, pull within 2 points of the Rangers. Claude Lemieux gets the puck over to Stéphane Richer. Richer scores his 15th of the year. Devils lead at 6-4 in the third. Gary?
Thanks very much.
Wouldn't expect to be in a shootout with Ottawa, but that's what's happening there. Wayne Gretzky helped set that last opportunity up. Also created the penalty. Vaughton got it for high sticking at 12-10, and the Kings, with the lead, get a power play.
And the action intensifies. A lot of good body checks being thrown out here tonight. Great speed. This is a wide rink, so players that have speed can really crank it up and get the Jets going. And when you're skating fast, McIntyre can send Olenoff. He gets the worst of that altercation. You can really throw a good body check on someone.
McIntyre, who had an outstanding season last year, is not getting a lot of ice time right now. He's been a big disappointment. The 23-year-old who plays a very physical center position. Barry Melrose has used him sparingly over the last month. Power play, Donnelly.
Excuse me, another major disappointment for the Kings has been Jari Kurri. 1 goal in his last 18 games.
You know that won't last, but it's kind of surprising when it goes that far.
Well, he had such a tremendous start to the season. Everybody thought he was back to stay, but he's struggling like the rest of the King team, and we do expect him and the King team to turn it around.
He's still their leading scorer. Jari Kurri, 58 points coming into the game. That's Kurri working the power plays. He goes behind Coffey. Picked up by Blake. Intended for Kurri. Kurri brings it in. Power play underway. Jari Kurri. Kurri shot, missed it wide. Paul Coffey on the near side boards. 1:09 left on the power play. Rob Blake. Blake tipped wide by Taylor. Played behind the net. Taylor gets it back. Taylor, Donnelly, Kurri. Blake, Coffey on the power play. Taylor, centered, tipped Donnelly, covered. Essensa made the initial save. Blake, good step up to hold it in. 50 seconds left on this Kings advantage. They're up 3-2 here and a chance to extend it. Taylor, Essensa fell down. The shot went back in on Essensa and wide of the net. Donnelly trying to center, hit Essensa's stick. Jets finally able to clear it out. Olenoff.
The Jets just parted the way and allowed Dave Taylor to walk right out. There were 3 Jets in front of the net, 1 Jet pursuing him, and no one really went to him to prevent his progress.
And Blake and Olenoff had to be separated as they went to the bench by the linesmen. They were sticking each other. Zador comes back to get it. Keep that one in mind for a little later in this game. 14 seconds left on the power play. Coffey sends it in. Jets need one more clear here. Olesen, Granato all over him. The penalty, 2 seconds left on it. They don't get it out that time. Eriksson swings it out. Vaughton out of the box. This will be no icing. Govedev came out to play it. Back at even strength. Hit the linesman that time. Swede knocks Mark Wheeler working on the lines tonight. Even strength now with the Kings up. Gretzky back out. Tony Granato fakes the blue line shot. Slips it into the corner. Senza there to get it. Teppo Newman and around the board. Zador gloved it down. Good play. Zador centering Robitaille. Just missed as he couldn't get it through the defenseman. Housley coming. Housley drops it off. Chris King. King in the middle. Steen! Oh my gosh, he whipped it over the crossbar and into the seats. Would he like to have that one back?
Steen has just done an excellent job of defensive zone coverage in his own end, and he gets rewarded for that as the Jets come back up the ice. Steen from in front of his own net races all the way up, and he's in all alone on Govedev, and it hits the crossbar and goes up into the stands. Excellent play by Thomas Steen. He's a very underrated hockey player for this Winnipeg Jet team.
Doesn't even get credit for shot on goal after all that.
Oh, that's right. Speaking of underrated, you go to the Kings, Luc Robitaille. An awful lot is said about Wayne Gretzky, rightly so. But Robitaille has been an all-star in each of his 6 seasons. He has topped 100 points 3 times, and he's never scored less than 44 goals a year. He's a very, very good, reliable star player for the Kings.
#1 scorer for left wingers last season in the National Hockey League, number 20, Luc Robitaille. You don't think he's happy to have the guy next to him back there with a big C on? Robitaille wore the C while Gretzky was away, and he said, "I've never been so happy or pleased to give the captain's C back to somebody as I was the other night." And understandably so. How many points will it mean to him to have him back? Who knows, but you know it's going to be a lot. Robitaille held it up. Zipnik cleared it around. Olanoff could not hang on to it. And he put the check on a penalty coming up. He knocked Taylor down. Conacher, delayed call coming on the Jets here as soon as they gain control. Andy Van Hellemond now in front of the net. Taylor has got the stick up and the gloves up with Olanoff. The interference call coming up. Power play when we come back.
Ulanoff of the Jets knows he's beaten by Dave Taylor at the blue line. Taylor's going by. Ulanoff says, "I can't let you go because you're going to have a free ride to the net." Gets the hip out, and he'll go into the box for an interference penalty.
Ulanoff, 23 years old. He played 27 games last season. Had a couple of years in the Soviet Elite League. And now the Kings, with that 3-2 lead, will go back on the power play. Granato won the draw. Gretzky whips it back to Coffey. Coffey and Blake stay out on the point on the power play. Robitaille and Granato along with Gretzky. Gretzky back to Blake. Blake, Robitaille. They set Granato up in front. One of the toughest, smaller, physically sized guys of the game, Granato. Gretzky moving in. Shot, save. Granato trying to tip. Not out of the zone yet and not out. Blake held it in. Blake shot. Deflected off Timo Solani. Gretzky's shot. That hits Shannon, and it'll be a short-handed chance the other way. They want to change up. Blake moves in. Blake puts the good shot on Mike Eagles. Minute 20 left on this power play for Los Angeles. Rob Blake. Gretzky. Granato. Gretzky to Coffey. Jets challenging the points here. Gretzky behind the net. Look at that pass, will you? So fast you hardly saw it. Backhand pass. Blake shot. Deflected wide. Robitaille. Coffey holds it in. Granato cuts it down. Robitaille. Teppo Numminen. Still in on the boards. Knocked down Sador, and it came outside the line. Good try by Sador, but came outside that blue line. 48 seconds left in the power play. Want to remind you, NCAA basketball tomorrow starts at 12 noon. Louisville will take on UNC Charlotte. That'll be followed at 2 by Louisiana Tech and Western Kentucky. Noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific here on ESPN tomorrow. How sweet is this stick?
Well, he patrols the boards and behind the net and controls the puck so well. That's just a little touch pass. He must see Robitaille with the eyes, and they're in the back of his helmet. I don't know how he sees people out there, but he does, and he always puts the puck right on the tape, and it's starting to make me mad. He does it with such ease.
And those forwards are salivating when he returns. Gary Curry around Olesen. Change his name, too. Comes to the near side. Coffey. Curry. Shot. Essence of the save, and it comes in front.
Gary, that's the second chance Curry's had from the right side of the net tonight. He normally doesn't miss those. He must be pressing a little bit.
You can see him almost holding it a little longer instead of just going ahead and firing. Sador sends it in. 10 seconds left on this power play. Dave Taylor. Taylor in the corner, dropped it to the point, intended for Coffey. Spun around him. Short-handed effort. Zamnoff in offside, takes a bump from Coffey. Zamnoff made the nice play to get it out of the zone. Penalty is over. Back to even strength with 2:53 to go in the second.
At home, if you're wondering why Coffey didn't get a penalty there for bumping the King player, the King player had touched the puck. When Taylor was bumped, he had not touched the puck. This is Jerry Curry in front of the net. He just doesn't miss. He receives passes so well. That one, he didn't receive well. He didn't cushion the pass at all. It hit a stick, went too far in front of him, and he couldn't get a good wrister away. Curry is one of the best players in the league at receiving passes. Curry-Gretzky, that's why they score so many goals together. He's just not doing the little things the way he used to do them.
He is the 15th all-time leading goal scorer in the National Hockey League. Gary Curry with 514. Kings leading it by a score of 3-2. Jets have had the lead twice in this game. Bill Housley drops it the other way. They reverse. Shannon Able to get it out of the zone, can't connect. Zitnik cleared it the other way. Ulanoff back to get it. Ulanoff over to Housley. Reichel moves up on him. Right back in by Zitnik. Ulanoff back to get it. The Kings in the second period have taken over the territorial play. And the Winnipeg Jets. And the Kings are out shooting the Jets now 19-17. And the Jets having real troubles coming through center ice. Housley gets it up. Here comes Solani. Solani and Shannon. Dropped it into the middle. Zemnoff scores!
Oh. What a spectacular goal. Well, the Kings just break out again. The speed of Solani takes a little pass there from Housley, catches up to the puck. Zemnoff coming late. That makes it a 3-on-2 as the Kings are late getting there. And what a tremendous move he puts on the goalie, Goverday. A nice alert pass. You see Shannon driving to the net. McSorley's got to go with him. Reichel is late, coming back to make it a 3-on-3. And Zemnoff scores a spectacular goal for the Winnipeg Jets.
22-year-old rookie, 7th among rookie scorers, has tied this game at 3-3 at 17:55. Zemnoff getting his 10th of the year. Solani and Housley pick up the assist. So we are tied again with 1:47 to go in the period. Why the Smythe division is so tough and so good. This kind of play. Steen tried to center. Gretzky's got it. Gretzky will head man with Coffey trailing. Gains the line. Gretzky the shot. Save made. And the Jets able to get it out. They want a break. Davidoff sends it back. I don't think Davidoff realized he had Tkachuk here on the near side all by himself. Dumps it back into the corner. 1:20 to go here in this second period. 19-18 the shots. Kings the advantage there. Game tied though at 3-3. Solani, Gretzky, Shannon, Gretzky again. Donnelly and Zemnoff have the goals in that order in this game.
Tony Granato did a good job with the blue line against Bowden, making sure he got the puck out. If you're a young winger and you're along the boards, patrolling the boards in your own end, and the puck comes around to you, you either have to get it out, freeze it for the face-off, or make a play. You can't have a cough-up at that zone in your ice. Gretzky's getting an awful lot of ice time here tonight. Gains the blue line there. He's got Coffey to the right side, and he elects to shoot. Essenza comes out, makes a good save, but he's playing a lot more than I expected him to, Gary.
And looks as fresh as you could ask for. Sador, his shot. Essenza makes the save. Sador will have to come back to center in the final minute of this second period. Gary Thorne, Jim Schoenfeld, ESPN's National Hockey Night from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Long hockey tradition here. Solani with the first goal of the game. Solani with Sador. Solani centered. Oh, yes! Yes! Bill Housley! What a play by Solani.
The Kings are guilty of watching Solani. You have one man on him here. Here comes the second man. It leaves Housley wide open. Huddy has to delay. You can see Sador is on Solani. Huddy cannot leave Housley open in front of the net. The advantage of that offensive defenseman jumping up and joining the rush. Housley gets there in a hurry to put the Jets ahead.
From Helsinki, Finland. He's causing a lot of Helsinki for opposition in the National Hockey League. Blake brings it up. They're offside, wide of the net. Delayed offside call, 21 seconds left to go. 19-24, Housley's 10th. Solani and Shannon. And the Jets have the lead again for the third time in the game at 4-3. 8 seconds left to go in the period. Coffey unable to hold it in, face-off at center.
It's getting a little nasty out there. Some more pushing and shoving.
Marty McSorley, who already has 1-5 for fighting, and Kennedy. Dean Kennedy.
Gary, the Jets have 3 rookies in the top 10 rookie scorers. Solani, of course, is number 1, and he just keeps adding to his total. Zemnoff has put on a great display for us tonight, and Davidoff is 9th. So they have the nucleus of a good young team here in Winnipeg.
5 regular rookies playing for the Winnipeg Jets and leading them in goals scored. Our second intermission coming up. Scores and highlights of the other games of the National Hockey League and the ever-popular, always-present plays of the week that are always a delight to look at yet one more time. Tom and company will have that for you. Bill Clement, El Morgatti, Tom Mees, our ESPN National Hockey Night second intermission, all coming up. Knocked away to Paul Coffey, and that's going to do it. And the crowd getting themselves a great show with the Jets leading at the end of 2 by a score of 4-3. Tom Mees.
All right, Gary, 4-3 is the score. 2 goals in the last 2 minutes and 5 seconds by the Winnipeg Jets. Alexei Zhamnov and Phil Housley from the ever-present Timo Solani, 4-3 Winnipeg after 2. An exciting game going on at the Aud in Buffalo tonight. The Islanders taking on the Buffalo Sabres, the high-scoring Sabres of late. Let's check in on this one. First period, no score. Great effort by Benoit Hogue, controlling the puck. Skates behind the net, feeding Steve Thomas, number 32. He scores. 1-0 Islanders. Islanders led it 3-1 in the second period when Alexander Mogilny led the comeback. He said, enough of this stuff. Mogilny scores, and the slap shot is 39th. Later, the Sabres led it 4-3 when Mogilny scored on the wrist shot, his 40th of the year. Leads the league in goal scoring at this hour. Third period, Pierre Turgeon controls the puck, skates behind the net, walks in front. Where is the defense? The puck on the stick like a magnet. His 23rd. That made it 5-4, and this just happened. Ken Sutton with a blast for the Buffalo Sabres. They lead at 6-4. That game is getting on late now in the third period. So the Sabres continuing their hot play of late. They'd won 4 in a row coming into tonight's game against the Islanders at the Aud in Buffalo. More scores and highlights in Al's Corner. Still coming up along with Plays of the Week is now Canada. The Jets leading the LA Kings 4-3 after 2 periods. Back to Winnipeg for the third period in a few. 4 other games tonight in the NHL. One of them in Detroit. The Red Wings hosting the hot Vancouver Canucks. Canucks coming eastward on a road trip beginning in Detroit. 1 minute into the game, Steve Yzerman to give it a go with Gerard Gallant. Yzerman's 30th goal that made it 1-0 in the second period. Peter Nedved for Vancouver. Here's Nedved. Oh, what a shot! He scored! Peter Nedved! And that tied the game at 3. The Red Wings later on in the power play. Still in the second period, Doug Lidstrom to Dino Ciccarelli to Jimmy Carson. Nice passing and a goal. 4-3 Detroit. Then it's Steve Yzerman again. Third period on the power play. Beautiful moves here. Watch him hold out the defender with his left arm. That's Mark Howe. And Mark Howe with the beautiful moves coming down the slot, passing to the wide-open Steve Yzerman. The Canucks' first loss in 10 games. Kirk McLean's first loss in net for the Canucks in 10 games. Detroit wins it 6-3 final. Well, the Devils finally did it. They beat the Ottawa Senators. The Devils had lost in Ottawa. They had tied in Ottawa. They got them in New Jersey, and they beat them up by a final score of 6-4. The Senators perfect on the road this year. The Sharks and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Nikolai Borshevsky, 2 goals, 2 assists. He's quietly becoming one of the better players in the National Hockey League. Toronto leads it by a score of, or rather wins it by a score of 5-1. That brings us to Al Morganti's Corner. Al, Roger Nielsen fired as Rangers coach this week. Did Mark Messier play a trump card or not here?
Well, when you make more money than Donald Trump, you're going to get your way, probably, in New York anyway. I don't know that it was just Mark Messier. Roger Nielsen's message wasn't being listened to anymore. The system was not working. You look at the shots on goal they gave up. It just wasn't working in New York anymore. And what they did, people look and say, oh, it's a clone of Nielsen they got. Not true. They're getting a more aggressive coach, a more emotional coach. They're going to go for a new attitude with the Rangers. They're not the only team in trouble in the Patrick division. On the other side of Lincoln Tunnel, the Devils aren't having a great season. Who's going to go? Is it going to be Claude Lemieux? Is it going to be Kevin Todd? Is it going to be a combination of these guys? Somebody's probably going to be moved out to Edmonton because Joe Murphy hasn't played all year. They're going to try to make a deal with the Devils to get him playing somewhere. He's been in the back of the class all year. And also at the back of the class out in Boston this week, Andy Moog, benched. He's got a bit of a kidney injury. He's been benched. The Bruins goaltenders are in a messy situation right now. Reggie Lemelin probably going to opt for waiver. Moog on the bench. There's going to be a lot of goaltending moving because of the new rules for expansion. Look for Boston, maybe Buffalo, to pick up a guy like Mike Richter before the trading deadline.
You know, if I could go back to the Roger Nielsen firing for a moment, if Mark Messier had as much to do with that as everybody says he did, the New York Rangers, I think, really got what they wanted when they acquired Messier, and that's classic leadership. Classic leaders don't go with the flow if they don't believe in what's happening. So if Mark Messier had as much to do with this situation as everybody said, all it was Mark doing what he does best, and that is not settling for something that he thinks is wrong. That's how good a leader he is.
Well, for the record, Mark Messier has told the New York media all week since the firing, I had nothing to do with it. I think it's part of a gray area, partly a gray area. I don't think he went up to Neil Smith and said, fire the coach, but Mark Messier, you said, Bill, is one of the leaders on that team, and if it's not getting done, somebody has to change. Well, Phil Housley changed the score in Winnipeg. His goal late in the second period has the Jets on top of the Kings 4-3. 1 week old. Time to take a look at our first edition of Plays of the Week, comprised of plays entirely from the new year. And there's no doubt that the top story this week in the National Hockey League, that of Wayne Gretzky returning to the lineup of the Los Angeles Kings. This week was indeed a big one at the Fabulous Forum in Inglewood, welcoming Wayne Gretzky back to the lineup of the LA Kings.
So far in this period, face-off-wise, Tampa Bay 7-1. Here's Gretzky over now to Blake. Score! Tipped in front, perhaps. Donnelly was there. Gretzky will get an assist on it.
The great one's back in Inglewood, but Pavel Berry has been there all year for the Vancouver Canucks, and his goal scoring has helped Vancouver to the top of the very competitive Smythe division. So as not to infuriate the fans on the other end of the rink, watch number 10 skating alone on helpless Kelly Rudy of the Kings. Kevin Dineen of the Flyers had a milestone night last night against the Washington Capitals at the Spectrum, scoring not once, twice, but 3 times. Dineen's first hat trick of the season in an 8-2 Flyer run. But this was a week for goalies, and we have some saves that will knock you out.
Back the other way is a 2-on-2 break. Near side to Klatt. Klatt looking shot. Terreri the save. Rebound shot in front. Klatt shot. What a save. Chris Terreri.
Andrew cancels right in, and a big save by Dominic Hashing.
Now Bollig gets over the line, shoots one off Hextall. Thomas the rebound. Bollig another shot. Here's Turgeon. 3 stops in a row for Ron Hextall.
Don Sweeney. Cross. Reeves. Save Hextall. You'll never. Oh, what a stop.
Feetsoff trying to clear. Denied by Bookavoon. The first sustained before checking of the game. Gardner is robbed by Billington.
A shot from the left corner. Elect is there. 2:35 in the OT. Tenorti shot. Oh, it's got away. Peter Angelo McDonald. Rebound. Save by We just lost Ralph.
This week the goalies prevail, but don't worry, you goal scorers. There'll be better days ahead.
We'll take
The Sabres leading the Islanders, closing second, 6-5, a 1-goal differential. Look at Pierre Turgeon on the doorstep, and Darren Pupa. He may not have realized that the puck was in the area. He gets his left pad out. Buffalo wins it 6-5.
That's the pace. It's a weekly recap of the nation's most prestigious races. Thoroughbred Digest, Mondays on ESPN.
National Hockey Night is brought to you by Subaru. It's what to drive. By Visa. It's everywhere you want to be. And by Miller Lite. It's everything you want a beer to be.
We have been watching Wayne Gretzky tonight. Happy to report he looks like his old self. Part of Wayne's genius is how he thinks the game, and he thinks patiently at times. We've got a play that we're going to show you from the second period. Here is Wayne. The play is about to move to this side of the ice. Well, watch what Wayne does. All right, as the play moves to the other side, Wayne says, listen, I think the best thing for me to do is stay here. A little connecting of the dots. Count them up. 7 guys, and another jet is going to come into the play. 8 of them, all looking at the puck. Where's Wayne? Well, he waits on this side of the ice and finally picks it up, and he's just been standing here waiting. Makes a nice pass, and the Kings end up putting a little bit of pressure on him behind the net. Luc Robitaille goes to get the puck. Watch who's there to help him. Wayne Gretzky. The play breaks down. Look at the back checking. Jim and Gary have been right. Wayne Gretzky is showing no ill effects of his injury. He's in good shape.
Well, Wayne Gretzky's in good shape. His team was in good shape to the last 2 minutes of the second period. 2 late goals for the Jets, 4-3 Winnipeg. What's going to happen in the third? Back to Winnipeg Arena. Gary Thorne and Jim Schoenfeld.
All right, Tom, let's take a look at our scoring light summary from the Winnipeg Arena. Started out, Teemu Selanne kicked it in, his 32nd at 57 seconds, 1-0, and then we're underway. Wayne Gretzky's first of the year, 15-32, tied at Robitaille, and Granato had the assist. Shannon got his 8th on a power play. Zamnoff and Eriksson, that came at 1-13. Winnipeg back on top 2-1. Gretzky's second of the game and of the year. From Taylor and Coffey came at 6-12. That was an even strength goal. Donnelly from Sador, 9-34 is 18th. Zamnoff, Selanne, and Housley combined at 17-55, even strengthened, and Housley on that great setup from Selanne and Shannon at 19-24. Zamnoff and Selanne both have 3-point games going, 1 and 2 each. Gretzky's got 2 goals. Housley's got a goal and an assist, and a 4-3 lead for the Jets. For the Los Angeles Kings, David Govida in net, 1-1 NHL career. Yeah, should be some finish. Pat Conacher in the face-off, won it back, and we're underway here in the third period. Pulling off, Selanne. Selanne with the tie-up. Coffey all over him. Coffey still all over him. Cleared around by Donnelly. You can see why Solani's drawing all the attention. The setup, backhand shot missed. Whoa, Solani got it in front to Darren Shannon, and Shannon just fanned on the backhand. Conacher and Shannon and Coffey, everybody there. Ulanoff. Donnelly was already to break up ice when Ulanoff fanned on that initial chance. Shannon's pass comes back to Donnelly. Donnelly will start it out just underway here in the third period. Donnelly, Taylor, Conacher, the kick line. Taylor puts the big hit on Olnoff after he got it out of the zone. Shannon takes the hit, but got it in as Thompson got a piece of him. Daryl Sador goes back to get it. Both teams will change it up on the fly. Gary Thorne, Jim Schoenfeld, delighted you can be with us here on ESPN's National Hockey Night. Erickson, the spin, drops it deeper into the corner. On the near side, the kick out by Eagles. Nobody there to do anything with it, and the Kings come back to Robitaille. Luke Robitaille off Newman's stick. King ducks his head, goes over Thompson's skate. Eagle takes the hook, and Andy Van Helleman saw it. And we'll get a power play opportunity coming up again with the Jets up 4-3.
Well, another Wayne Gretzky fact. Fastest 50 goals in a season, 39 games in 1981-82. And tonight, he's had 15 minutes of play. We did not expect to see him on the ice that much tonight. 7 minutes in the first, 8+ in the second, and who knows how much Barry Melrose will use him in the third, especially with the Jets leading the game and the Kings down by a goal.
Game stays this tight. You're probably going to see a lot of him out there. Thompson gets the penalty for holding at 1:21. Thompson for holding. And the Winnipeg Jets, up by a goal, will go back on the power play. Winnipeg Jets in this game have been able to convert on the power play 1 for 3. They convert here, they can get the 2-goal lead, which has been non-existent tonight. David Orr sent it into the corner. McSorley able to tip it away. Evgeny Davidorf held it in. Down goes Tkachuk. Keith Tkachuk got knocked down. Olsson moves in to try and hold it in, and does. Good play by Olsson over. Wow, didn't take the shot. Housley tipped away by Taylor to center. Olsson will come back to get it. Power play for the Winnipeg Jets. The Jets now on the season have picked up 47 power play goals. 4 of them have come against Los Angeles. They have given up 37 to the opposition, so they've got a plus on their specialty team. Essenso went back in behind the net to help out. Olsson's got it, starts it up ice. Tkachuk. Keith Tkachuk sends it in, get hit by Blake. Coffey moves over. Good play by Coffey to free the puck up. Luciano Borsato is watching Coffey and not puck. Blake short-handed. Yow, hang on. Essence rising slap shot on the short-handed effort. Our ESPN's National Hockey Night will continue next week at 7:30 when we bring you the San Jose Sharks against the Detroit Red Wings, led by Sergei Fedorov's 39 points and 19 goals. That will be 7:30 Eastern next week.
An interesting rush by the Kings. Coffey lugs the puck up. Defenseman makes the pass over to Blake, another King defenseman, and Blake rifles a rocket. Essence just gets his head out of the way, gets his glove up in time to make the save. Killing penalties, it's unusual the 2 defensemen would be leading the rush, Gary.
Yeah. Blake's got a scoring streak going, 3 goals, 2 assists in the last 2 games. He's trying to keep it live here tonight. Housley kicks it up. 47 left on the power play chance. And just shot back out of the zone. Goverday got rid of that one. And you see the goaltender start to play it himself. It means he's loosened up a little bit, hasn't he? In his first game, here in the third period, he helps himself out. Well, back in his own end and driven deeper as Donnelly was back there on Zumnov. 26 seconds left. Newman got it up. Shannon bringing it in. Power play for the Jets. Running down 18 left. Shot wide. Solani. My gosh. Can he rip the puck? But he didn't get it on net. Housley. Depo Newman. 4-3 Jets. Power play over. And we're back to even strength. So they do not convert on that one. They're 1 for 4 in the power play. Thompson with Taylor in the middle. Dropped it back to Conacher. His shot was blocked. Conacher. Bauten blocked that one. Right through the crease. Pass came free. held in by Pat Conacher. Kings are changing. Coffey the shot, blocked again. Teflo Newman, and he felt it. Tipped in front, held in. Granato shot, save, rebound, shot wide, and a penalty will be coming up in front of the net. As Pat Conacher got knocked down, Bautin is going to go, I believe. Jets 4, Kings 3.
By the Jets, Newman coming out, makes the block. Another shot's going to come. Bautin is working in front of the net on Taylor. He blocks that. And the Kings continue their pursuit. Essenza moves the puck out of harm's way. And just before that, Bautin had made another good block, Gary.
Now the power play as Bautin is gone at 3:46 on the hooking call. So Los Angeles down by a goal, 0 for 2 on the power play. They go at it again. They are 4 for 19 against Winnipeg this season when they have had the advantage. Los Angeles, 49 power play goals, cleared out of the zone.
A very alert play by Dean Kennedy. Most defensemen, they go back, they're under pressure. They just rifle that puck along the boards. He took a little look over his shoulder. You saw that he had a forward open up the middle and slid the pass to him.
Kings with the 9th best power play in the National Hockey League coming into tonight's game. Eagles gets it. Eagles will bring it out. Winnipeg has had only one shorthanded goal scored by them this season. It was dropped for Eagles, but he had headed to the bench. Robitaille with Gretzky. Gretzky holding. Wrap around. Yes, save made. Rebound. Granato kicked it. It's still loose. Blake trying to shove it in, and it's covered up. And the sticks get up. Blake takes a swing. Igor Ulanov. And Rob Blake.
The Jet defender's doing the right thing. When you have a puck bouncing around your goaltender, don't start looking for the puck. Move people out of the way. You may get your nose punched. You may get a glove in the face. As you see Gretzky coming in again with Robitaille. They're a deadly twosome tonight. And Gretzky will come, try the wraparound. Essenza will make the save. And then the action occurs. Blake is right in there. And just to the right of your screen out of the picture was where all the pushing pursued. And that's simply a result of the Jet defenders making it uncomfortable for the attacking team in front of their goaltender. And that's an area they've lacked in greatly. And it's a very important thing in the National Hockey League to make that red zone, that danger zone where people can score from, a tough place to be. Kennedy's coming. Ulanov takes a shot, and then Ulanov finally goes back at Blake, and the pushing ensues.
Goalie Bob, they affectionately refer to him as here in Winnipeg. Kings 0 for 4 on the power play here in this game. And Coffey's able to hold it in. Donnelly's got it. Gary Curry had to go to the bench to get a new stick. That cost them possession right there. Newman is able to clear it out. The Kings specialty teams have been on the negative side. They've now, coming into this game, they've given up 55 and scored 49 in the specialty units. Donnelly, Senza was there to knock it away. Donnelly again. Donnelly's played a strong game tonight. Back to the point to Blake. 29 left in the power play. Coffey to Blake. Blake deflected wide of Ivor Sato into the seats, and 24 seconds remain on the Jets penalty.
And again, Kennedy knocking Donnelly down to the ice in front of the net. Donnelly doesn't like it, but Kennedy says if you're going to stand there, you're going to get chopped every time. That's my job, and tonight he's doing it very well, Gary.
Barry Melrose pacing, 36 years old, 3 years with the Adirondack Red Wings. Now behind the bench in his first season, has changed the style of the Los Angeles Kings. Much more physical, to the point where the Kings come into tonight's game with the most penalty minutes per game in the league. Whoever would have thought that would happen?
And you contrast that to the Jets, who are the 4th least penalized team in the league. Unless your penalty killing is extraordinary, you don't want to take as many penalty minutes as the Kings. And their penalty killing has not been that great this year.
Gretzky won the face-off, an area that the Kings have been dominated in tonight's game. A 2-1 margin in face-off wins in favor of Winnipeg tonight. Shots 25-20 in favor of the Kings. 10 seconds left on the Jets penalty. Coffey moves it in. Kings trying to get another chance on this power play. Sent behind the net, Robitaille. Robitaille tipped away by Newman, and Granato comes over to get it. Granato sends it back. Robitaille to Gretzky. Gretzky thought about moving out. Moves the other way. Teflo Newman ties him up. Penalty's over. Even strength. Centered by Gretzky. Picked up by Andy Brickley on the far side. And Brickley clears it out. So we're back to even strength. Kings unable to convert tonight on power play chances. And they're changing up right here. And Ulanov's got it. Gretzky right behind him. He heard footsteps on that one. Robitaille trying to hold it in. Blake does. Blake, backhand shot, tipped by Gretzky. McSorley, centered. McSorley again trying to center. Housley got a piece of that one. Good play by Darren Shannon, too, who blocked it. Solani coming. They got a 3-on-2. Solani drops it. Housley. Housley, shot! Wide. Rebound still in the zone. Shannon trying to hold it in. McSorley on him. Robitaille reaching. Kicked away to center. Gretzky will head to the bench. Housley sends it over to Ulanov. And Ulanov into the zone. Jets leading by a score of 4-3. Sent in by Ulanov again to Solani. Solani tied up by Sador. Sador to McSorley. Great pass, McIntyre! And couldn't get it directed on net. But sure had the opportunity. Essenza had moved way out, fell down. The puck went wide. Shannon to Solani. Solani just everywhere tonight. Solani in. Solani tied up. Charlie Huddy got just enough of him and didn't draw the penalty on it. Intercepted. Zamnov looking. Zamnov. Solani turning to the middle. That's where he likes to go. Solani between the legs. And finally cleared out of the zone. And a high stick. Penalty coming up. McSorley moves it in. There's the whistle. The Winnipeg Jets are going to go back on the power play as Zamnov got hauled down with a high stick.
Huddy on Solani coming up. Solani with the puck. Huddy gives him a little chop. He loses balance here. And you'll see Huddy watch his stick as Zamnov goes by, gives him a little hook. And for that, he'll sit out the next 2 minutes.
And another power play opportunity coming here. Thompson. It is right. Thompson drew that penalty for interference at 7:30.
Okay.
I think he got the wrong guy, actually. They didn't argue about it. Housley brings it in. Housley. Olesen shot wide. Winnipeg Jets down 4-3. Power play chance. They are 1 for 5 on the power play. Steen to Housley. Olesen, one-timer. Didn't get it on net.
Gary Huddy immediately went to the bench, and of course the officials don't have the advantage of replay that we have. And Andy was looking around. You saw him delay down here to make the call, so he just took his best guess, and Thompson was the guy he chose.
Nobody argued about it at all. Olesen comes up. Frederick Olesen sent it into Shannon. Zamnov centering pass blocked by Blake. Housley gets over to cover. 1:06 left on the power play. Housley. Olesen. Zamnov near side. In front, tended for Shannon. Roll wide. Housley was looking for it. Coffey there. Clears. They'll change penalty killing units, and the power play unit for the Jets switches up as well. 46 seconds left on the power play chance. Frederick Olesen working from behind the net. Olesen, a veteran of seasons here with the Winnipeg Jets. Teppo Numminen set it in. Conacher comes out with Huddy. Marty McSorley, penalty killing unit, along with Taylor. And again, they're able to get it out of the zone. 29 seconds left. Opportunity for the Jets to tie this game up. Teppo Numminen bothered by Taylor. Dave Taylor's played a strong game tonight, particularly in the penalty killing unit. Keith Tkachuk moves it in. McSorley, a piece of him, centering passes blocked behind the net by Huddy. Huddy just pulled on Zamnov and held him up. Zamnov still has the puck. 5 on the power play. Zamnov down the middle. Teppo Numminen broke his stick. He's now on defense without a stick. And a break right there for the Jets. Penalty's over. This is going to be an icing call. Boughton on the touch-up. Let's go back to Tom.
All right, Gary. Tonight in Detroit, Steve Yzerman had 2 goals. You're looking at what proved to be the first of 2 goals as the Red Wings doubled the score in Vancouver, 6-3. Cooling off the hot Canucks. And don't forget, next Friday night, Red Wings at home against San Jose. National Hockey Night, 7:30 Eastern Time. I know you'll be there, Gary.
You got that one right, Tom. Over to Bricktown afterwards, too. 49 points for Detroit now. They're trailing Chicago in that Norris division with 52. 4-3 game here. The Jets on top with 10:21 to go in the 3rd period. Kings out shooting the Jets 25-21.
Since the big scrap between McSorley and Domi, McSorley has taken a regular shift, played pretty well. We haven't seen Ty Domi yet, and that's for no other reason that Ty doesn't play as much as Marty plays. But that fight took a lot out of both players. A lot of courage and a lot of stamina for Marty McSorley to come back and play a regular shift as well as he's playing it.
Blake got it up. Robitaille moved in, cut off by Mike Eagles. Eagles able to hold it into Chris King. King Sends it back the other way. Paul Coffey moved up. Bats it to the near side to Blake. Again, Chris King moved over. King and Domi playing together. Former New York Rangers coming over in the Ed Olchuk deal. Intended for Coffey from Robitaille. Coffey looking. Gretzky's joining the flow. Blocked behind the net by Boughton. Boughton over to pick it up. And finds Eagles breaking up. Eagles. Kachuk trailing. And Eagles will just ship it in. They were changing up, so only 2 Jets were down in the zone. They were outnumbered that time. Kachuk got a piece of it. He is one tough player right there, Keith Kachuk, wearing number 7 for the Winnipeg Jets. Granato, Gretzky. Kachuk gets him. Gretzky still had the puck. Just missed Robitaille in front of the net. Robitaille and Granato had both gone to the front, waiting for Gretzky to get the puck there, which he usually does. Paulson goes back to get it. Kings change it up on the fly. 9:09 left to go. Third period. Kachuk, Donnelly had his head down and paid for it. And then Sean White moved in and got a piece of it. Curry, Yari Curry, shot, save made. Essenza got the glove on that one. Paulson, hard around. Sador held it in for the Kings. Donnelly clears it over. Keith Kachuk again. Kachuk waiting for some help. Finds Borsato. Borsato pinned up. No whistle. Borsato is pinned up against the boards by McSorley, and neither of them moved. Sador's shot. Rebound, White, and it goes over the net. He didn't get all of it. Gets his own rebound. White looking to the middle. Taylor White, Curry are out there right now. Shannon drops it off. Near side, Thompson will pick it up. Thompson drops it back. Both teams changing, trying to shorten the shifts a little here.
A lot of neutral zone play, which is to the advantage of the Kings having the 1-goal lead. Not many good chances at either end of the rink, Gary, in the last 4 or 5 minutes.
Solani.
The Jets, I'm sorry, not the Kings, the Jets.
Solani on Thompson. Solani got taken down. Boy, he does create chances, though. Not often you can get him off the puck. Off to Taylor. Taylor centered shot. Save made. Essenza again coming up big. Solani with Shannon. Kings are back. Shannon in. Solani tried the return pass and had it intercepted to Blake. Blake trying to catch the Jets in a change. Gets his own pass. He and Boughton go at it. Boughton one-arms it around. Tony Granato to the point. Coffey. Essenza again knocks it away. He's having an outstanding couple of minutes right now. Boughton knocks it to the far side. Granato able to hold it into Coffey again. Comes in front. Donnelly. Gretzky. Gretzky going to go back to the point to Blake. Blake wrists it wide, trying to set up Granato. Rebound came wide. Essenza came way out of the net. Got away with that one as the puck went behind instead of in front. Boughton clears it by Blake. Will they? No, they wave it off. In the corner, Coffey. Coffey hauls down Solani again. Coffey has been all over Teemu Solani in this game and has had at least one penalty called on it, but gotten away with some others like that one. Granato sends it in. And it's just whipped out of the zone by Chris King. This will be an icing call. 6 minutes and 35 seconds remaining, third period from Winnipeg. The Jets leading the Kings 4-3.
Forward to the corner is a goal scorer and a good playmaker, but he goes in and he mucks for the puck. Barry's on the wrong side of a hit by Paul Coffey, actually a little tug, but he's played a lot tonight, Gary.
This rookie's going to see a lot more action, too. Look at this, 17:51 played, and he's got the goal and a couple of assists tonight. He set up what right now is the go-ahead goal that Hauser got at the end of that second period. Held in, Boughton shot, save, rebound is loose, shot, score! The Jets are up by 2 on the rebound shot.
The Jets outnumbering the Kings in front of their goaltender. They're 2-on-2, and now it's 3-on-2. The shot trickles through the goaltender, Goverde. And the Jets have a 2-goal lead. Good shot from the point. But the Kings need some help down low. 2 defensemen, 3 Jet forwards. One of the King forwards have to come back and give them help in front of their goaltender.
32-year-old Brian Erickson. Right place, right time. Jets lead 5-3 with 6:12 remaining to go in the third period. Erickson getting just his second goal of the season with a 2-goal lead. Borsato tied up by Yari Curry. Taken away by White, cleared out the center. And now with 5:53 left to go, the Jets with a 2-goal lead going to be more prone to play defense and let the offense happen often. They don't want to make a mistake now and give the Kings a chance to get back the 1-goal differential. Blake brings it in, dumps it wide. Remember, Los Angeles comes into this game 0-7-2 in their last 9 after a 19-7-2 start this season. They are in a real slump right now. Goverday, the goaltender, called up to start this game. Shaky at first, seemingly settled in a little bit, but the last 3 goals have been scored by the Winnipeg Jets. Taylor intercepted Coffey. Coffey moving, intended for Curry, but Curry was already in the zone and offside.
Goverday has not really had much chance on any of those goals. There have been bang-bang plays in the crease. As I mentioned, outnumbered situation. The Jets coming in, beating the Kings in their own defensive zone. If a team wants to win hockey games, they have to stop and start in the defensive zone. They have to go to their check, take the man, mark the player, and the Kings are not doing that well tonight.
ESPN's National Hockey Night. It has been a good one here in Winnipeg. And as we said, a city with a great long history of hockey. They've got banners hanging here from 1901, Stanley Cup champions Winnipeg Victorias. And the Hull's numbers here for the Jets, the Avco Cup back in the World Hockey days. Zamnoff wraps it around. We get a whistle on a delayed offside call. Let's check in with Tom.
All right, Jerry, let's check in Buffalo and see what happened tonight for Alexander McGillney. His daily diet of at least 2 goals. That's right, he had 2 more tonight, 40 on the season. He leads the NHL in goal scoring. One of the reasons why Buffalo beat the Islanders 6-5.
Mario Lemieux, of course, out with that back injury. 39 goals passed by McGillney with a 2, now has 40 on the season. Bouret, 3rd. Kevin Stevens of Pittsburgh, 4th. And Solani now tied him for 4th with the 32 goals. Solani having picked up number 32 here in tonight's game. Winnipeg has had Solani, Shannon, Zamnoff, Housley, and Erickson for their 5 goals tonight. Gretzky's got 2 for the Kings, first 2 of the season for him. And the other picked up by Mike Donnelly right there, who shoots it. Had it blocked, and it rolls in behind the net. Jets fans treated to a fine show here tonight. 14,036 short of a sellout tonight. They're in a real cold snap here. May have kept some folks away. Thompson ties up Solani again. Ooh! Put his head into the boards. Solani retaliates by hanging onto the stick. I'll tell you, having seen what the Kings are doing tonight to Solani, it's no wonder they made that trade for Domi and King.
The Kings have gone out of the way to give Solani an extra shot at every opportunity. And give the young guy credit. He just keeps coming and coming and coming. I don't think you're going to run him out of any arena in the National Hockey League, Bill.
Eagles sends it back in. Thompson back to get it, and Thompson takes the hit. That's a retaliatory hit by Brian Erickson that time. He went right after him. Got a pretty good shot on it. Donato falling down at center. Eagles hits Andy Van Helleman with it. This one by Van Helleman as King got it in, and King hits Thompson too. So there's what we were talking about. King came out and found Thompson, and they're still going at it. As they come up ice, Coffey in. Coffey to Granato. Granato tied up by King. Cleared up by Eagles and out of the zone. Blake goes back to get it.
And the word will spread around the league very quickly that the Jets no longer are a team to be pushed around.
Blake brings it in. Down to 3:09 left to go in the game. Blake had it taken away by Olesen. And Tkachuk held in Granato. Deflected wide by Robitaille. Robitaille near side to Gretzky. Gretzky tried to center off the skate. Olesen was there. Frederick Olesen clears it up. Blake could not hold it in. Breaking away Versano. Blake reached around and got just enough of him so he couldn't break out. 29-23 the shots. Kings have the advantage there, but they're down by 2 as the Jets are leading them. Puck freed up. Sticks get up again as Robitaille got it up. Tkachuk sends it in behind the net. Paul Coffey goes back to get it. Right now the Jets just dumping, forcing the Kings to come full ice to try and get anything offensively. Robitaille poked away by Olnoff, controlled by McSorley. His shot, save made. Senza made the save. Huddy can't hold it in. Senza looking for the victory in net tonight. He is 13-13-4 coming into this game. He gets tripped the goal crease by his own player's skate. Zumnov tried to poke it around along the boards, couldn't get it there. Batted into the zone. Both teams will change it up. Charlie Huddy going back to get it. Solani moved in, poked the pass away. McSorley comes back to get it. 1:56 left to go. Winnipeg Jets looking to win their 4th straight at home and keep a streak going in which they would be 5-1-1 if they hang on to this victory. Sador forced back to get it. And that will be called icing with 1:43 left and the Jets up by 2.
Well, the Los Angeles Kings feel this is as good a time as any to get their goaltender out. They're down 2 goals, 1:43 seconds left, and a face-off deep in the Jet zone.
So the extra skater out for the Kings with the empty net at the other end. Gretzky to Coffey. In the middle of Blake. Blake had it blocked. Good defensive play by Zumnov. It came up. Zumnov's got an empty net. Misses it wide. But he was up, so there's not going to be any icing here. Marty McSorley drops it back. 1:27 left to go. Plenty of time for the Kings. They can get one here to keep the pressure on. Sent in by McSorley. McSorley, Gretzky, Granado. Teppo Numanen's pass. Blocked. Held in by Robitaille. Intercepted by Numanen again. Blocked by Granado to Robitaille. Sends it behind the net for Gretzky. Trying to get it to McSorley. Teppo Numanen blocked the pass. Numanen does a 360 twice. 1 minute left to go. 3rd period. Coffey holds it in. Tried to tee it up. Gets it teed up. Takes the shot. Blocked. Diving block by Boughton. Centered right through the crease. Rebound in front. Granado save. Essensa makes the save. Bob Essensa, big save with the extra skater. 39 seconds left to go. Third around, Fredrik Olsson. Not out. Coffey held it in. Coffey drops it back. Gretzky goes to the front. Robitaille over to it. Wayne Gretzky, 2-goal night. Shot by Blake. Did not get in on goal. Deflects all the way to center. 25 remaining to go. Gretzky trying to get out of the zone. Did, but Olsson was there. Had the puck. Granado. Olsson tipped it away. Gretzky's got it. Gretzky to Robitaille. Zumnov got a piece of him. Gretzky centered. Bounces off Granado's stick. Back to Coffey to Gretzky. Tipped wide by Fredrik Olsson. 9 seconds left to go. The Winnipeg Jets are about to defeat the Kings for the 2nd time this season. Coffey to bear hug. Solani. He earned it. Teemu Solani gets his 2nd goal of the game.
John Paddock showing great confidence in this young line of Zumnov, Solani, and Darren Shannon, and it paid big dividends for them. Coffey is all over Solani. He just fights through, and that's a well-deserved goal. He's had himself a tremendous game as you see the clock tick down. 3, 2, 1. With 0.6 seconds left, or 0.9 seconds, the Jets win the game 6-3, Thorny.
A 4-point game for Teemu Solani. Shannon gets the assist. 19:59 was the time of that goal, and the Winnipeg Jets have won it 6-3.
I like the look of that line. Zemnov, a great playmaker. He skates extremely well. Solani can skate. He can score, obviously. He's leading all rookie scorers. Shannon is a good grinder. He comes up with pucks in the corners. He's very strong in front of the net. They all skate well, and they seem to complement each other very much.
And the Kings continue to struggle. They're 0-8-2 now in the last 10, and they are giving up 6 goals a game and averaging under 3. They still do not have it turned around, even with Gretzky back. For Jim Schoenfeld and all of our crew here in Winnipeg, this is Gary Thorne. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Back to Tom.
All right, Gary, thank you very much. Good job, as always, from Winnipeg. The Jets doubling the score on the Kings. Good news for L.A. Gretzky scores 2 goals. Bad news, another loss. They haven't won since December 12th, almost 1 full month without a victory for the L.A. Kings. Tom Mees along with Bill Clement and Al Morganti. Al, we'll begin with you. What's your thoughts of tonight's game?
Well, obviously come away impressed with Winnipeg. Much more balanced team, not just the finesse players, the fast guys. They've got some muscle. I think that's going to help them in the long run. I want to see them do it on the road over an extended period of time.
Yeah, if they play the way they play tonight, they're going to win a lot of hockey games. On both sides of the puck, they were impressive. Remember, a couple of the Kings' goals were broken plays. One of Wayne's was a crazy deflection. So Winnipeg played a tight game, but Teemu Solani is incredible. I mean, anybody that watched him over the last few years play internationally, because he played in Finland, he also represented Finland, we knew that he was strong, had great power, cut off the wing very well, but was he going to be the kind of guy that would compete night in and night out in the NHL? That was the only question mark, and he's taken that question mark and just cut it into little ribbons this season. He is great.
He really is something to watch. Too bad he doesn't play in a larger media market where we could see more of him. Winnipeg Jets win it by a score of 6-3. Jets home to Pittsburgh Sunday night. Sunday night, the LA Kings continue their road swing. They'll take on the Blackhawks in Chicago Stadium. 6-3 our final score. Back with scores and highlights around the NHL as National Hockey Night continues in a moment.
8 goals. See hockey's greatest moments, greatest moves, and hockey's greatest victories, all jam-packed into this dynamic home video, 50 great goals. To order for $14.95 plus $4 shipping, send check or money order to this address, or use your credit card and call 1-800-238-4000.
National Hockey Night is presented by Budweiser, the king of beers, who remind you, friends know when to say when.
National Hockey Night rolls on from our studios here in New England, and we're going to go out to Winnipeg, Manitoba, live again, where Jets defenseman Phil Housley is standing by. Housley scored a big goal for the Jets at the end of the second period. Gary Thorne and he standing by.
Tom, thanks very much. The Winnipeg Jets with a 6-3 win, 2-1-1 now in the series this season against Los Angeles. And a big part of this season for them is the man who's going to be our guest right here, Phil Housley. Phil, outstanding game. You got to be loving playing with this team. This is an exciting club.
Well, we have a lot of young players and a lot of talent. And at the beginning of the season, we forgot to play defense because we thought we had all this talent. We could score a lot of goals, but they realized you have to play defense in this game. And you know, Timo and Alex have really come into their own lately.
Well, I'm an old defenseman, and I'm wondering what a young defenseman like you is doing in front of the net to score your goal here, Phil.
Well, I just got a pass from Shannon, and I just fed it to Timo and followed up the play. You know, it was really Timo who did all the work here. He went around the net and fed me a wide open pass. I was just in the right place at the right time. Surprised he saw me there, and geez, I'll take 25 or 30 of those.
25 or 30. I'd take 2 or 3 of those. That's a tremendous goal, Phil.
Timo, I'm telling you right now, Timo, I hollowed right there, and he made a great play and just gave me an open net. And, you know, those are great goals to score.
Phil, Solani, this has been my first opportunity to see him play. He seems not only to be a highly skilled player, he seems to be a player with a lot of courage. Is that indicative of his play this year?
Yes, definitely. I mean, he's a pretty big kid, and he can take the body when he has a chance, but he's got great speed, and when he really breaks into open ice, it's just scary to see him, especially when he gets a jump on a defender.
Phil, we were seeing Solani getting hit up pretty good by people, and we were talking about the importance of adding the physical size you did with Domi and King. Are we right about that?
Oh, we definitely need it. It was, you know, it was tough to give up Eddie Olczyk, but we definitely needed the aggressive players. And you know, Ty Domi knows his role very well, and Chris King is always finishing checks. And I knew how it was to play against him. He's always there right in front of your face, and it really helps the other players to get comfortable. And I don't think opposing teams take too many liberties.
Phil, we appreciate you coming on with us, and have a great season, huh?
Thank you.
Phil Housley, the victory picked up by the Jets here by a score of 6-3, Winnipeg over Los Angeles. Tom?
All right, Gary, thanks again. 6-3 the final, and Bill, it was 4-3 coming into that third period. The Jets hanging on, and with Wayne Gretzky and all the scoring power that the LA Kings have, a one-goal lead isn't the safest in the world, but Winnipeg quickly stretched it to 2.
Remember I told you that I looked all afternoon in some of the Kings' losses for defensive breakdowns. I said I couldn't find them. Their coverage was good even when they lost. All I had to do was wait till tonight because in a couple of times they really broke down. The goal that put this one out of reach was scored by Bugsy Erickson. And when we pick up this play, you can see Wayne Gretzky was back in deep trying to help out. But Wayne was forced with a decision that he didn't really want to make, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Puck came back out to the point. Watch this. 2 Kings are over here. Double coverage out near the point, so Wayne has to come out and try and deflect a shot. He didn't get it. It got by him. So there are 3 guys out here. That means you're 1 short into the left down low. And that's exactly what the Jets took advantage of. Erickson just skated into it, and they had a 3-on-2 in tight. So, I mean, I didn't see anything like that in the last few weeks of their games, but they had 2 or 3 major breakdowns, and the Jets crucified them every time.
Al Morganti, every team hits bumps in the road in this long regular season, but this is a pothole for the Kings of late.
It's, well, you hope it's a speed bump. It probably turns into a pothole if it goes much longer. But I'm wondering, Gretzky's not supposed to play the next game. And if he says he's healthy and he played well tonight, and he played a long time tonight, maybe ask him, can you go? If he says yes, why not put him in? Let him go and try to pull yourself out of this thing.
Well, the ultimate test would be that game, wouldn't it?
Chicago Stadium.
Chicago Stadium, the Chicago Blackhawks, they don't, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's Wayne Gretzky coming off a back injury. That's the way they play, so it would be a tremendous, tremendous test.
Spoken like a pair of Blackhawks season ticket holders, right? Kings come to town once, twice a year. You want to see the great one, number 99. 4 of the games in the NHL tonight. Let's start with a good one between the Islanders and the Buffalo Sabres at the Aud in Buffalo. Scoreless in the first period. Great effort here by the Islanders. Benoit Hogue controlling the puck behind that, beating an open Steve Thomas, who calls for it, gets it, and scores. 1-0 Isles. 3-1 Islanders in the second. Alexander McGillney says enough of this. He let a Sabre come back. McGillney on the slap shot, number 39 on the year. Later on, McGillney quickly. 15 goals his last 7 games. That was number 40 of the year. That made it 5-3. Third period, Pierre Turgeon controls the puck, skates behind the net, walks in front. Nobody touches him, so he'll score. His 23rd of the year, cut the Buffalo lead to 5-4. 23 seconds left now in the game. Vladimir Matakov finds Benoit Hogue on the doorstep. He scores. 6-5. Then under 10 seconds left, Pierre Turgeon alone in front, but Darren Pupa's left pad saves the bacon for Buffalo. And they win it by a score of 6-5. Mogilny and Sutton, 2 goals each. The new goal-scoring leader in the NHL right now, with Mario Lemieux out for a couple of weeks at least. Alexander Mogilny, 40 on the year and counting for the Buffalo Sabres. Good game tonight at Joe Louis Arena. The Detroit Red Wings, who we'll see next week, entertaining the Vancouver Canucks tonight. Kirk McLean, the Vancouver net, unbeaten in his last 10, but he doesn't have to face Steve Yzerman every night. That made it 1-0, and Peter Nedved for Vancouver. Here's Nedved. Oh, what a shot! He scores! Peter Nedved! Nedved's goal tied the game at 3 in a wild one. Red Wings come back on the power play. Still second period. Lidstrom to Cicerelli to Jimmy Carson. That made it 4-3. But it's Steve Yzerman again. Third period power play. Watch Mark Howe setting this one up. He does all the work, and Yzerman, I guess, gets all the credit because his name is etched beside his second goal of the night. Red Wings 7-2-2 in their last 11. 6-3 the final. Could this be the kickstart, a win over a good Vancouver team, Bill, that the Detroit Red Wings needed tonight?
Boy, they've been the most uninspired team in the NHL. When Brian Murray sits back and looks at his situation there, he's looking at himself as a coach, so he has to assess that situation. But GMs don't pull themselves out from behind the bench very often. So the only other thing Brian Murray can do is perhaps trade to shake up his team. He's going to give them, I think, at least 30 days. The trading deadline's not until March, so he's going to take his time, look at them. If they come around on their own, he's going to leave them intact. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Brian Murray pull the trigger on a big deal.
Vancouver, meanwhile, Al, is in the beginning of an Eastern road swing. Always tough for them.
Always tough. Last year when they came in, they did fall apart a little bit when they came east. But I like, even though they lose tonight, I like the makeup of their team better. If I had to pick one team, Detroit or Vancouver, to go deeper, I think Vancouver's got more elements to it. They're so big. They're so strong. Bure's a tremendous player for them. He's a franchise guy. He's like a 100-point guy in Vancouver, an unheard of thing. I like them. Even though they had the loss, they're set up better than Detroit. They don't have as many moves to make. Detroit does have a big move to make before the end of the season.
I like who Vancouver has behind their bench. I played with Pat Quinn, and I've had enough ex-players, guys whose opinions I trust, tell me that he's the best coach they ever played for. Well-coached team.
Well, he's gotten it done in more than one situation. Pat Quinn, one of the more well-respected men behind the bench in the NHL. We'll see those Detroit Red Wings who won tonight over Vancouver. You'll see them next Friday night at home against the San Jose Sharks. Airtime 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific time. We'll be back with more as National Hockey Night continues. A total of 5 games tonight. Let's take a look at the Ottawa Senators and the New Jersey Devils. Ottawa, 2 games against the Devils this year, both in Ottawa, a win and a tie. Stéphane Richer, though, says enough of this. He is stopped on his shot. Bobby Holik on the rebound. It made it 3-2 New Jersey. Devils break in again. Claude Lemieux pinched off. It gets the puck to Stéphane Richer, who beats Peter Sidorkiewicz. New Jersey wins at 6-4. Stevens for New Jersey had a goal and 2 assists, so New Jersey is 1-1-1 against the Senators, who are still perfect on the road. They haven't won all year. As far as the Toronto Maple Leafs, Glenn Anderson of Toronto, a good night, 2 goals and 1 assist, leading the Maple Leafs to a 5-1 victory over the San Jose Sharks. Let's check out the standings in the Norris Division up to the minute. Chicago's lead over Detroit down to 3 points now. Minnesota is 6 off the pace. Toronto at 41. St. Louis and Tampa Bay are going to be fighting to stay in the playoff chase as the season goes along. So right now it's still Chicago, but the lead down to 3. It's going to go right down to the wire.
Probably.
I'll probably go down to the wire, but we all picked Detroit early when the season began. Detroit may be a runaway in that division. Chicago's played very well. Sutter has them very well coached. Goals again, the shots on goal every game low. I think they'll probably hang in there through the rest of the season. Minnesota's the team that kind of everybody forgot about going in. Terrific defensive play. Bob Gainey, an underrated coach, and they've got a combination of Tenorti and Hatcher, maybe the best duo in the league when they're playing good.
Yeah, I think what I'll be watching in the second half of the Norris division is, can the Minnesota North Stars continue to play as well as they've been playing, and can the St. Louis Blues continue to play as poorly as they've been playing? I'm not sure I know the answers to those. The one team that's going to complicate life, I think, for both of those teams is the Toronto Maple Leafs. Pat Burns knows how to keep the puck out of his net. I would hate to play Toronto in the playoffs right now because they've got great goaltending, they're good defensively, and they're not scoring, but they got a guy named John Cullen that can light it up, and he hasn't done that yet. So Toronto's going to complicate, I think, the situation for St. Louis and Minnie. I see Toronto making it, and one of St. Louis or Minnesota not making it.
Well, Toronto, as of this moment, has a 5-point lead over the St. Louis Blues for the final playoff spot in the North Division. And Brett Hull, the good news in St. Louis is he's been warming up. Hull does have 7 goals in his last 5 games. Maybe it was just a situation of him taking a lot of shots early and just not finding the right holes to put the puck home. And this guy ever gets going, he could carry St. Louis. And as I said, they're only 5 behind Toronto at this point.
Well, we've talked about this before, and the fact remains the St. Louis Blues are scoring more goals this year than last year, even when Brett was in his big slump. I'm not sure they've got the horses there. When I look down their roster, they got some real quality people and some good hard-working guys with the Sutter twins and Bobby Basson. They're little guys, and I'm not sure that they've got the horses, even if Brett lights it up.
They did put it all on Hull's shoulders, so to speak, and he does have 3 multiple-goal games out of the last 4, I believe. So he is pumping it in, you know, he's getting the goals. It's not going to carry them, though. They made a lot of progress under Sutter, who left for Boston with hard work and good defensive play, good defensive style, and they've lost some of that hard work ethic.
See, one of the complications now for St. Louis is they don't have the depth to upgrade their team in trades. So when you sacrifice depth at one point when you're making trades...
Still, after some of the trades, maybe it's better they don't.
So wild rumors that even Brett Hull will be trade bait. Don't believe it. Brett Hull isn't going anywhere. They can't afford to lose him. He's one of the big drawing cards that they have in St. Louis. We'll be following that story as the year goes on. Tonight's story, Winnipeg Jets doubling the score. The LA Kings, Gretzky gets 2 goals, but the Kings lose again, 6-3, the final from Winnipeg.
The class of '85. Michael Jordan reaches for some really rarefied air, and another coaching casualty on the NFL sideline. Jack Edwards and Gary Miller after hockey.
With all the news of Wayne Gretzky's return to the Kings lineup this week, it's obscured an equally as big story. Mario Lemieux, who was the league's leading goal scorer when he injured his back, is going to be gone for a couple of weeks, at least till January 26th, they say, Bill. But if there's any team in the league that could withstand the loss of Mario Lemieux, it's Pittsburgh. They have a 14-point lead in their division.
Well, from a team standpoint, the Pittsburgh Penguins are still all right for the reason that you mentioned. They have a big lead, and they still have a lot of horses. The sad thing is that if Mario Lemieux was ever going to take a shot at Wayne Gretzky's single-season record, I really believe that this was going to be the year. 27 years old, terrific supporting cast, incredible first half of the season, and now the focus shifts in Pittsburgh away from Mario's perhaps individual achievements and back to the team thing. They've got enough horses to wait for Mario to come back and then do what they did last year and the year before. Mario has to be very careful at this stage, though. His lower back situation is something that just about ended his career the way Wayne's almost ended his. And everybody is simply pulling for Mario right now. And the focus, I don't think, anymore is on the team in Pittsburgh. It's on Mario coming back.
One of the longtime movers and shakers of the league, Bill Wirtz in Chicago, recently lost it. Al, why?
Well, they had a governor's meeting or a board meeting in New York about this whole expansion process. And finally, the NHL's taken the long view, and enough people voted to give the new teams coming in a good variety of players to choose from. They can only protect one goalie with 2 years experience or more. And some of the old guard, like Bill Wirtz, they're so used to new teams coming in with nothing but a barrel over them and a naked body. They kind of railed at this.
I played on that team.
Yeah. We're number 10, as I recall. Final score for Winnipeg tonight. The Jets beat the LA Kings 6-3. We'll be back to wrap it up on this edition of National Hockey Night in just a moment. San Jose, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific time. Our final score, Winnipeg over the LA Kings 6-3. For Al Morganti and Bill Clement, I'm Tom Mees. Thanks so much for being with us. We'll see you next Friday at 7:30 Eastern. Sports Center up next with Gary Miller and Jack Edwards. Have a good evening, everyone.